Here, joined alongside Coach Joel DeCastro of the Battle Lions. Coach, tough loss 3-1 Saturday. What are we going to do tonight to clean things up against Columbus?
Yeah, it was a really difficult game Saturday in difficult conditions, based off of all the travel and all the tough games we've had in the last sort of 10 days. But I feel like the group's had an opportunity to reset a little bit. We had a good training week, and I think we're ready to give it another go this evening.
Absolutely. Okay. So what did we do well in that match that we're going to take into tonight, Coach?
I think we our plan was to keep an organisational structure, and I think for the most part we did that. I think, as always, as a coach, I'm going to try and figure out what we didn't do very well. And I think tonight the key is to make sure that we protect our box a little bit more than we did. We felt like those 3 goals that we gave away were super preventable. So tonight, a little bit more of a battle line mentality inside of the 18-yard box. And then I think tonight it's also about getting a little bit more of an attacking rhythm.
Excellent, Coach. Okay, so obviously the boys have clinched up a playoff spot. What are you going to do to ensure that they keep their focus tonight and going forward into Saturday's match?
I don't necessarily think I have to do that. I think any soccer player, as you get to these kinds of levels, understands that when you lose a game 3 nights ago and you get to play against the same team again, that you've got to bounce back and you want to show yourself not only as a team but also be good in your 1v1 battles. So there's no doubt that my motivational speeches are definitely there. But at the same time, if you can't get up for a game like this, then you need to reassess your role in soccer.
Absolutely, Coach. Okay, so a couple big injuries, a lot of absences tonight. Who's going to make the difference going forward today for the Battle Lions?
I don't ever like to pick on individual players in terms of performance. We've been pretty much beaten up for the last couple of weeks, so we've managed to do a good job of managing injuries. Although all the results haven't been positive, we've managed to try and get everybody somewhat fresh again. So I think our attacking line is critical, obviously. But again, for me, it's about a team performance, winning the ball back quickly, and just trying to see if we can get on the board early here.
Absolutely. Well, excellent, Coach. Good luck tonight and the rest of the season. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Trent.
Absolutely. There you go, Jupe.
And all right, of course, welcome back. If you're just joining us here to Tallahassee Live, of course, the rematch, our guy, Trent Young, down there on the field with the big dog. Head coach Joel DeCastro, of course, getting the insights, what we got to do, clean things up and reverse the curse, as it were, here versus Columbus, of course, on their maiden voyage here in the MPSL here this season. So, of course, we're going to regroup. We'll have the pregame coming up here shortly. Well, we're in the pregame, actually, of course, but we'll get into our regularly scheduled program and really get things rocking and rolling here. It's a Wednesday night special here from the Gene, the final regular season game that you'll see out at the Gene here this year. Hopefully, TSC will give us something in the postseason to look forward to. Andrew Jupe, Ben Grubbs, Trenton Young here on the action. Come right back on the other side of the break.
Let's face it, our lives are busy. Whether we are picking up kids from soccer or sharing some family time watching a match, we don't have time to waste. That's why Blue Coast Federal Credit Union fits seamlessly into your busy life. With our convenient mobile app, online banking, and personalized service, managing your finances has never been easier. Join us today and experience a new wave of banking with BCFCU. Learn more by scanning the QR code below. BCFCU is federally insured by NCUA.
From getting back in the game to getting back to exploring all this life has to offer, our dedicated team is here for you every step of the way. With a patient-centered approach and unparalleled orthopedic and sports medicine care, our team of 70-plus physicians and providers are here to help you live a healthy and active lifestyle. With over 225,000 patient visits a year and servicing North Florida and South Georgia, you can trust TOC for all of your orthopedic needs.
When we approach an issue, we approach the issue as one entity. Our team comes from all types of unique backgrounds. In any given session, there's probably not an issue that some member of our team isn't involved in.
When folks in government are interacting with our firm, they can always be assured that the individual who's talking with them is pushing the policy that they truly believe is the best and right policy.
We have such a wide variety of areas of expertise. Rarely do issues fall just in one silo. Having people who can address all the different parts of the problem is a big win.
The difference in our firm is we truly are a team.
Let's face it, our lives are busy. Whether we are picking up kids from soccer or sharing some family time watching a match, we don't have time to waste. That's why Blue Coast Federal Credit Union fits seamlessly into your busy life. With our convenient mobile app, online banking, and personalized service, managing your finances has never been easier. Join us today and experience a new wave of banking with BCFCU. Learn more by scanning the QR code below. BCFCU is federally insured by NCUA.
From getting back in the game to getting back to exploring all this life has to offer, our dedicated team is here for you every step of the way. You can trust TOC for all of your orthopedic needs.
Let's face it, our lives are busy. Whether we are picking up kids from soccer or sharing some family time watching a match, we don't have time to waste. That's why Blue Coast Federal Credit Union fits seamlessly into your busy life. With our convenient mobile app, online banking, and personalized service, managing your finances has never been easier. Join us today and experience a new wave of banking with BCFCU. Learn more by scanning the QR code below. BCFCU is federally insured by NCUA.
One of the cool things about our firm is we really specialize in bringing talent out of state government so that our clients can benefit from that internal knowledge that people have developed over the course of many years.
Clients demand a higher level of understanding of what they're up against. Who better to provide that than people who have been in that process and written those rules?
We believe that you can teach someone how to lobby. And what you can't teach them is the expertise they bring to the table from having served for 15 years in the Department of Transportation or having served for 10 years at the Agency for Healthcare Administration.
We come from state government in large part, so we've seen these decisions being made year over year. We know the direction that we need to move in, and we know what it is our clients are trying to achieve. So that's just an unbelievable combination.
I think for people who've come out of state government, it's just in their DNA to do what's right for the state and do what's right for the citizens of Florida. And I think that translates very well into being a lobbyist.
This is you. You're watching the Tallahassee Soccer Club online. Or maybe you're watching in person. Hold up. Wait a second. Yeah. Right there. Who is that? Who that is? Who are these people? Can you pause it? Oh yeah, I know where the answers are. Tally SC Talk Podcast. Whoa. All kinds of videos on this YouTube. This is going to help me get to know my battle lions.
Let's face it, our lives are busy. Whether we are picking up kids from soccer or sharing some family time watching a match, we don't have time to waste. That's why Blue Coast Federal Credit Union fits seamlessly into your busy life. With our convenient mobile app, online banking, and personalized service, managing your finances has never been easier. Join us today and experience a new wave of banking with BCFCU. Learn more by scanning the QR code below. BCFCU is federally insured by NCUA.
And welcome aboard here, back at it. Tally SC live here from the beautiful Gene Cox Stadium. Andrew Jupe alongside Trenton Young here and Ben Grubbs bringing you the action today. The regular season finale here at home. Of course, still got one more this Saturday to take care of the business, which, of course, after we get to a couple points of conversation, I'm sure could loom large on the bigger picture. Of course, Trent, you had a chance to talk with Coach. Little cat and mouse there, as it always is. What's your big takeaway from your conversation with JDC?
I mean, he just seems as focused as ever. He knows what, lies ahead and what is at stake tonight here against Columbus. We're still fighting to host that home playoff game. Obviously, Pensacola is they've locked down that 1 seed in the West, and we're still fighting us and Columbus to host that 2nd spot and get that 2nd seed. So obviously it's a big game tonight. But yeah, Coach Joel just seemed very focused and determined. Obviously we just played this same side on Saturday, and he knows what they're made of, and I think he's got a thing or two up his sleeve tonight to kind of counteract that really strong and fast goal-scoring prowess that they displayed on Saturday, Jupe.
There you go. Absolutely. Of course, the recent form. So since we've been gone, this is what's been up. So, of course, we had the Pensacola game. If you tuned in with us, you knew how that went, and we're going to cycle it back here today. Went on the road. New Orleans got a big result here, a little 2-1 out there to the Big Easy. 2nd consecutive victory over New Orleans and the first win out there on the road here, Trent. And then, of course, last Saturday falling to this squad, Columbus, who we get on the turnaround. What's your biggest takeaway here from the last 2 matches that you've seen from TSC as we'll kind of bundle it into a recent form?
I mean, I think we show that we belong. Obviously, New Orleans is a perennial power in this league, in this group or subconference that we have out here in the West. And so to get a big result against them, to finally beat them 2-1 on the road, that was ginormous. You go out to Columbus, though. It's a really tough game that they played, 3-1. You're down 2-0. You get one back and then give up the third right there about the 79th, 80th minute. So it was a tough one up there in Columbus the other day. But, I mean, Columbus really rounded into form, Jupe. This is one of, if not the best teams, not only in the West, but I'd say in the entire Gulf Coast Sunshine Beachfront Conference.
There you go. And as, of course, we bring up the largely irrelevant main table here, of course, these for the old schoolers, and the most of the league loves this big table here, Trent, but, of course, cannot emphasize enough, this is largely irrelevant, will not matter until July 13th. This will only dictate who is hosting the championship game on the 13th of July. So it's a group game. So, of course, it's the West Group and the East Group, as it's been termed with the conference. Here, groups. So you can see Columbus rolling in here. They've jumped TSC with that victory here at that 1-5 points per match here, Trent. So, of course, you look at the bottom of the table, New Orleans on the outside looking in. So 2 years in a row, like you talked about, one of the powers here in the league has missed the postseason, even in this expanded 6-team playoff here, Trent. And then the East is kind of the usual fare. It's Jacksonville, Naples, Miami, and then, of course,
Dramatic
golf.
pause.
Global Soccer Pathways mathematically eliminated, as is New Orleans. So they have finished their season. They're off and done. Will be interesting to see if we see them next summer when we circle back around or start having these conversations here, Trent. But, of course, this is big because, like we talked about, like you referenced, this is for the seat at the table. Who is going to host that first match on the 6th? Because Pensacola clinched the 1, so that's off limits. We can't touch that. So, basically, we're going to have a 4th date with Columbus regardless. So will it be on the road or will it be at home? That's what we have to play for here, which in short will determine it. But then we each have an additional game. They will host Pensacola, the top dog. We got to head down to South Florida for the longest road trip in franchise history, Trent.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, Jude, but if you look at it as the current table stands, the largely irrelevant current table, Miami is our easiest opponent for the whole season.
Correct.
Obviously, because we only played them twice. Only team we get out of the East. Everybody in the West is loaded. You know, we know that this is tough over here. But so, you know, we've got our trip down to Miami juxtaposed with Columbus having to host Pensacola, who is one of, if not the toughest teams in the conference and in the Western group. So, you know, kind of a tale of two teams there, if you will.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, of course, we can flip it over. We'll get back to the West so you can kind of see the head-to-head matchups because ultimately – if there is a situation where we would have to tie break, there are possibilities, Trent, that we could finish even with Columbus. We could finish even at 12. We could finish even, of course, tie. That would be the main one, would be 12, which would be really tough to do, but an option that could pull off. Of course, TSC would have to win here tonight in order to be level. Otherwise, Columbus wins the tiebreaker. Mm-hmm. So if TSC doesn't get a tie, it would be actually impossible for them to push through. So if they lose here tonight, 3 seeds all they got. If they tie or win, they'll have a shot at that all-important 2 seed here that we have going on today. So going forward here today, Trent, as we move throughout the situation, of course, let's get a little history lesson. What you think here as we go back between these clubs? Of course, only the 2 meetings here, never beaten Columbus. The tie and the loss is what we have here on the table. So, like we talked about in the Coach Joel DeCastro era, trying to check some of those boxes, Columbus would be a good takedown here and would be level in that head-to-head matchup. And for the current standpoint, if TSC wins, they would go to 1-5-5-6, and Columbus would be 1-3-3 on points per match, giving them the advantage down the home stretch.
So, I mean, that just tells you right there how important this match is for not only tonight, the rest of the season, and into the playoffs. So, a big one we've got here tonight. But, again, man, Columbus, they're a tough side. So, they're going to come out and they're going to try to go ahead and beat us again after just beating us 4 days ago on the road for us. So, we'll see, Jude.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we keep on trucking through here. Of course, we talk about recent form. You're liking where Columbus is rolling here right now. Of course, a win, a draw, a win, a loss, and a win. Of course, the only non-favorable result is against the top dog, Pensacola, in their house, Trent. So not a bad recent form coming here for Columbus.
No, they've definitely been on the up. We saw them get a couple of tough games at the beginning of the season, and they were trying to find their identity. Again, this is their first year as a club. So, you know, a lot of changes are being made on the fly there in Columbus. And, you know, we've seen them kind of adapt to this league. And, you know, obviously they're able to hold their own because, you know, they're in the thick of it, currently ahead of us in the Western group.
There you go. Of course, they've got some first year of the franchise, but there's definitely some experience around the league here, Trent. And so contrasting that with TSC, a little bit of a roller coaster up and down here. Of course, the 5-match stretch here. Loss, win, loss, win, loss. So, of course,
trending towards a win.
There you go. Of course, interesting that you say that, Trent. Of course, following a loss here in the Coach Joel DeCastri era in this season, 2-0, and then all-time 5 times coming out of a loss, 3 wins, 1 tie, 1 loss. So averaging overall in the JDC era 2 points per match, which, if you simulate that, that would be good for 3rd in the table here if TSC is perpetually coming off a loss, which, of course, that in and of itself would counteract the 2 points per match. But anyways, that aside, typically the squad responds really well. The only instance that it did not happen was in the playoffs, of course, following that 0-2 defeat at home and then going to the postseason, having that crazy, wild 3-2 loss here to Southern States. As we want to preface things, we have the national anthem here on standby, so we may be cutting out abruptly in the middle of our sentence, but just wanted to kind of throw that out there. All that to say, Trent, typically the boys respond well. Of course, TSC has clinched a postseason spot, as has Columbus. But, of course, what lies ahead, hosting would be huge. Especially on a Saturday at the Gene, you know, the city shows up for the weekend affairs here. Already, crowd getting here feels like a little earlier than they typically do. As we get the national anthem getting ready to get rocking and rolling. So we'll go ahead and drop this. As you can see, the players coming on. And national anthem to show out very shortly. Of course, big-time matchup for these squads. See them coming on to the table here, and you can see we have the Western group standings down there in the ticker, if you can catch them. We're going to try to keep that as live and as up-to-date as possible here this evening. Of course, a score update. We do have the action going on in Naples. That game is just about full time, and it is a 3-1 Naples advantage over Miami, so it looks like they're going to hold on for that one. Alrighty, and there you go. National anthem off and away, and fantastically done here. Local talent in Tallahassee. Never a letdown, Trent.
Absolutely not, Jupe. That's why we feature them every week here at the Gene.
Of course, we've got to get, so at the break, we want to give some credit here. She did a fantastic job. Did not get her name ahead of time, but she did well, so we want to make sure we scoop that. But if we're just joining us here, welcome back. Tallahassee Live here. An exciting one to get going for you. Columbus going at it here today with your Tallahassee Soccer Club. And, of course, who's the best of the West? The question remains to be answered. The regular season best of the West is pretty clear. It's been Pensacola. They locked up the top seed here on the western side, but, you know, playoffs looms a little larger, Trent.
So the best of the rest is what I'm hearing from you, Andrew Jupe. The best of those who remain in the West.
In the West, yes, because, of course, we're playing the group game, so we'll keep it small picture because it really doesn't matter here as we go forward until we see who we're facing up top. Is it going to be Jacksonville? Is it going to be Naples? Is it going to be Miami? All to be determined here, but we do know that Columbus and Tallahassee are going to be in the postseason. Is it going to be on the road? Is it going to be at home? And who's going to be playing Pensacola, Trent? So, of course, this will go a large way in finding that out here. If Columbus wins tonight, they will lock up the 2 seed. If Tallahassee takes all 3 points, things will get a little more interesting. If these teams draw out here tonight, Trent, it'll be once again in the hands of Pensacola to do as they see fit. The puppet masters out on the beach, probably sitting back and enjoying this one. I'm sure we have some Pensacola faithful joining us here tonight. And for those who you are not familiar with the program, if you're tuning in for Columbus, I think it's about time, Trent, that we issue the trigger warning. So, of course, this is a pro TSC operation. Consider it like a hometown radio station, which I'm sure you people in South Georgia understand. If you like UGA, if you like FSU, or other high-profile teams, treat this as a hometown radio broadcast. We will give respect to your team, and we will try to call it like it is here, but don't get it twisted. This is a TSC operation, so, of course, we're going to shout out our boys and be rooting them on here. So just so you know, you have been warned. There is a mute button. So if you can't tolerate the commentary, or you think it's pretty terrible, or you don't like the sound of my voice, the sound of Trent's voice, or just all these TSC goal calls that we're hopefully going to get here today, you can hit the mute button, and why don't you go ahead and enjoy that HD picture, of course, because we do stream these games out here in the Gulf Coast Sunshine Conference up here in Tallahassee as we're about to get this one rolling here, Trent.
It's a big one tonight, Jupe. Obviously, the third time we play Columbus. A few familiar faces out there, but, I mean, we got to get that first win against them tonight, hosting them for the second time in the Gene. Ball drop back here to the Columbus back line. Captain Bruno Garcia plays it forward. Carter Berg back out wide. Mo Tucker over top to number 9. Tristan with a great step there, able to get that ball down to Sloan.
Of course, Tyler Sloan making his home debut here for TSC. We've seen him on the road a couple times the last couple weeks. If you've been tuning into the broadcasts from our opponents here from this season, you know, of course, the Sloan era is in full swing, but I know TSC had to add and bolster up security here for tonight's game because the Sloan pack is here. They're loud and proud, and they're ready to see the former Lincoln player show out here in front of his people in the capital city.
Yeah, for sure, Jupe. It's been years since they've been able to see him play here, and obviously he's put in years of work trying to get here, and he's finally here. And like you said, it's Sloan season, baby. Let's see it.
Off and rolling. So, of course, we had a brief delay in the clock here for you. They're going to try to get that updated, so keep in mind that official time, as it always is going to be kept on the field. Of course, this is going to be a close estimation, but the stadium clock seems to be busted, so we're working on getting that fixed up. Here's a little offensive spell here for TSC. Johnny Fitzgerald, old reliable, the old captainship. Fontenelli, a centering ball looking for Jepson in the middle of the park. And Columbus looking to clear this one out. And you got to be on your toes here when Columbus breaks, because they are, Trent, by my estimation, the best counter-attacking team that I've seen so far this season.
Certainly, Jupe, and I mean, they definitely are one of the quickest, no doubt either. Mo Tucker out wide, number 3, is one of the fastest players, if not the fastest player in this entire conference.
Oh, here's Trent Blake, a nice little centering ball to Fontenelli, spills it on back to Jepson. That's going to be the dangerous Bermuda Triangle there. Centering switch, looking for Big Rob, who's really come on in form here the last couple weeks. Of course, tied for the team lead with 3 goals as Audie Jepson throws a little Karate Kid here, sweeps the leg of Columbus going forward for you today. So TSC going to go with their typical look here. Looks like a 3-5-2 here. Of course, there will be some flexibility that they will kind of flood a little bit, and it is very amorphous, so don't get stuck on the formation. Coach Joel likes it to be an amoeba-like formation, Trent. Flex and flow here alongside of the game. Visitors on the attack here, trying to get a through ball, working that right-hand side centering ball. Tristan Monroe, fantastic position, but it will be a Columbus corner. So be on the lookout here. Of course, Columbus did score off of a corner in the match up in South Georgia just a couple days ago.
Yeah, they ran a little decoy run near post, and then they recycled the run right back in, and player was left unmarked and had a very easy header on goal. So I can tell, though, early Coach Joel's got these boys locking down, because we had Trenton Blake and Zuri locked in, covering that ball in here that got the corner.
Absolutely. Centering ball won well here by Trice. Secondary cleanup there by Sundquist, and it'll spill out. And here comes Sundquist in a little bit of a pressing attack situation. Here is the San Diego man. Wants to make sure the visitors are on top of things. Service long, and that's going to be a familiar ball, but Trent Blake there as he drops in for that free safety position. Looking for a cutter. Beautiful delivery to Jepson. A little underlap coming here from Big Rob, and a beautiful sequence here for TSC. Columbus a little stretched. Quick throw coming here. Jepson going to give it into Fitzgerald. And the former Leon Mendul there. That side of the park. Jepson trying to get back on defense, but this one spilled out of pressure. Columbus, once again, we talked about the counterattack. They're going to go forward here. Sliding effort by Sasanka. Counter still on here for Columbus. TSC numbers getting back, but we got to get a mark on a uniform. We've got a vacant man here on the back post as Columbus works it around here on their attacking half of the match. Or attacking half of the half, excuse me. Good takeaway. Sasanka Fitzgerald on the combination. Here's Audie Jepson. Overlap here to the Ackerman. Of course, the mainstay here for Tallahassee. The only battle lion to appear in every single season in franchise history. 5 seasons over the course of 6 years, including being on standby and ready for active service here on that COVID year, Trent.
Yeah, no big deal, Jupe. We were talking about our Mount Rushmore battle lines earlier, and I said Johnny definitely had to be up there. Johnny and Schmoke are 2 captains.
And there you go. So, of course, Johnny Fitzgerald, the mainstay here for the Tallahassee Soccer Club. And, you know, a lot of times you see the youth coming in strong, or you see the new, I don't want to say flavor of the year, Trent, but the new people coming into the mix here. And a lot of times they grab the headlines, right? But you can't forget about the one who's been a big part of it all, was one of the original people here to the party, and he's staying through, man. You can't get rid of him.
Old Faithful.
Old Faithful, Johnny Fitzgerald. Of course, he's on the ball now, our captain number 15. A little double team here from Columbus. They look to go on the counter. Once again, that's going to be a huge point of emphasis as Sasanka gets back here defensively, and Fitzgerald tracking back. He wants to renew that. And he's got a little extra heat going into this ball game, is because the boys are looking for revenge out here on a Wednesday night at the Gene, Trent.
Yeah, Jupe. I mean, it's tough going on the road anytime, but then when you lose 3-1, you know, you got a sour taste in your mouth. But then you get a chance 4 days later to get them back at your home. So, I mean, this is just a huge opportunity, not only for team morale, but also for the rest of the season and for playoff standings.
And absolutely. And here's Fitzgerald with a little professional foul there as Columbus looking to go on the adventure here. So it's like a basketball-esque play there, Trent, here from old Uncle Johnny. It's quickly taken here for Columbus. will drop it on back and look to cycle it around. Pressure here from Big Rob. Like we said, got that lone goal from Columbus, though it was a nasty one. Little one-timer left foot found the side netting. Zuri Robertson once again getting the start here tonight here on this left back here for TSC. Of course, Zuri had some nice speed to this back line. We saw Zuri in that right back position last year do fantastically and hasn't missed a beat. Trent, he's got that kind of the Cam Castrua vibes to him.
For
Our
sure.
local guy on standby. He's always fighting in and around the 18, but when you need him, because TSC has been through it with injuries the last couple weeks, and of course a couple suspensions coming through here. But you know who's ready to pick up the call?
Big Z.
Big Z, ready to rock and roll as Trenton Blake jumps into a tackle and a physical one. He's down right at midfield there here for the Battle Lions.
And that's what's so great about the ASG Academy, Jupe, is we got Zuri. He's getting starts week in and week out every week. And then, with these injuries, with these absences, next man up mentality. We asked Coach Joel last week, what were we going to do with Tristan out? And he says it's going to be a squad game. We're going to bring one of the squad up. And that's what Zuri's been last year, deployed in that traditional right back with the four back line. And now a little bit more responsibility playing as a wing back.
There you go. So, of course, Big Rob on the take here. This one's going to be cycled out. Loose ball. Great slide by Sasanka. And he's able to scoop it. And it looks like the referee would like a little input here as he speaks to Sasanka. I think Ali might have tried to give him the old sleight of hand because he changed number here today. Went down to the 8 instead of his usual 14. Maybe they think he's a different player here.
Hopefully. I think the ref's just letting him know, like, hey, man, you got all ball, but that's, kind of a reckless challenge there. We need to be careful. So he keeps the card in the pocket for now, but the second time Ali's gone to ground tonight already, and I don't know if he'll be so lucky if he goes down a third time.
Absolutely, and that's what the equipment manager has in here at the stadium. He purposefully wanted the team to play on turf because he knew players like Sasanka would be a little troublesome getting the grass stains out of those uniforms as your president, CEO, social media manager, and equipment man, Chris Petley here.
I just call him Dad.
Doing the deeds. There you go. Of course, when you're asleep, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock on game days, your guy's up doing laundry, washing the team uniforms. Loves it. Wouldn't have it any other way, and he's kind of the figurehead, right? He doesn't like when we talk about him because he's trying to provide a service to the community. He doesn't take a salary, and this is a 501c3 nonprofit club, community-funded. Locally here, the businesses want this team. You can see them all on the far side. And this whole operation is because the community wants to see some high-level soccer. And that's just what the boys from TSC are giving them. So our little club here for TSC, we don't have that big paycheck, but we got a lot of heart. And so we're going to keep fighting here throughout this conference as Zuri Robinson with a nice step on that challenge here on the near side.
Yeah, absolutely, Juke. TSC always fighting the good fight, built not bought. But, yeah, I mean, we got to thank Chris Petley for the opportunity that he gives to us and, for orchestrating all this. Like you said, all the stuff that he does behind the scenes off the field. So we love you, Prez. We know you're listening later tonight, and we appreciate it.
There you go. So Columbus getting ready to rock and roll, Trent. And we were so kind of firesome getting things going that we will get to our starting lives when we have the chance. We talked about your boy Tyler Sloan. The Sloan Zone is in full effect here tonight, his home debut. The squad out here. We can see the rooting block for Sloan down at the bottom towards the middle. But, of course, starting here across the defensive line, it's all reliable. We talked about Johnny Fitzgerald, but how about the last couple seasons? Trey Smith over on that left-hand side. Tristan Monroe in the middle of the park, and then Zuri Robinson out here. That's your back line. As we get some service up top, looking for Big Rob. A little direct play. My goodness. There was no deflection. Direct is what we were looking for. We've got Sundquist, Fontanelli, Sasanka, and Blake here in your midfield. And up top, we'll have Big Rob, Wilcott, Audie Jepson, and, of course, Johnny Fitzgerald here on the front line, which will ebb and flow. Sometimes you'll think it's 3 up top, then it'll look like 2 up top, and it's part of the amoeba that Coach Joel loves to institute here.
You beat me to it. I was going to say it earlier.
He says, I want to put ballers on the field, so I don't want to get locked into positions because then we think about personnel and different positions going forward there. As Monroe here defensively try to get a through ball. Great track back here. Trenton Blake steps on that centering ball here from Josiah Fontenot. Here the former Battle Lion. Fontenot. And
can we just call him number 9?
there you go. Josiah here, of course, known differently in his TSC days. Of course, the visitor, but of course, so tip of the cap to him for his TSC days. But of course, the opposition here for the next 80-plus minutes. As we come near side here to Mo Tucker. That's your boy, Trent, that you were talking about pregame. And of course, a couple minutes ago, of course, he seems to be a catalyst of a lot of things. Typically, you think of that as a man in the middle of the park. But, of course, he's a winger, gets into some dangerous positions here for Columbus. Free kick held up. Ref, once again, not liking the physical play here in the middle of the park.
Yeah, Mo Tucker was a big catalyst in the second goal that they scored last week. Took the ball at midfield and dribbled almost right to the top of the box. Had a little step over, played it out wide. Great ball sent in and some good play there from Columbus to get the goal. But, I mean, he's just so fast. You know, he really is like a defender, but you see him right now. He's almost on the TSC's back line as we speak.
There you go. So this one's going to be 40 from goal here. It's going to be Evans DePay. He's going to square it off here to the perimeter. There's Tucker. Watch for some service here centrally. They'll rotate it back around. Back to DePay. Once again, Tucker tried to thread it through, looking up top for Sato. Sato? Is that how you told me it was pronounced?
Yes, we did get confirmation from our assistant coaches who were obviously out there at Columbus. I'm sure they heard that name a time or two the other night.
There you go.
So I trust their discretion.
There you go. Shout out to Big Pile back into the chat. One of the most faithful TSC listeners out there. Of course, he likes himself some amoeba. A little free-flowing. Pressure's cumulative situation here. This one's going to be won back by the man in the middle of the park. DePay threads it through. Centering ball. Man open on the back. But the Sloan. You've entered the Sloan zone, and that's the one for the youngster, the freshman from Stonehill. Flying high. How about the Skyhawk with the first big save needed of him tonight, Trent?
Yeah, that was big, man. Able to cut down that near post. Can't ever give up a near post goal as goalie. That's rule 1, but you heard the crowd, man. They're pumped for Sloan. They've been waiting on this.
The prodigal son, but he never left, Trent.
No,
More like the golden boy, I guess. Service coming in here centrally. Well, won here by TSC. I believe it's Sasanka that got ahead to it. Sundquist trying to turn this one, and an interesting decision there from Columbus turns into a TSC throw-in. So big Rob on the press through here. 2 balls on the field.
Sorry, yeah.
So we'll have a hold up here for that one. Trent?
Big Sloan, man. He's ready for the occasion. I was down there about to grab my interview with Coach Joel, and Petley saw me and asked me if I wanted to take a shot on Tyler, and I told him I didn't want any of that, man. I do not want to be going up against Tyler Sloan. I don't need that for my confidence, but what a great ball here out wide to Trenton Blake, who just couldn't quite chest it down, a little bit too long. Sideline came into play there, and that'll be out for a Columbus throw. Number 3, Mo Tucker. DePay checks 2. Looks off Johnny, plays it out wide. Chado. Emil Skirsch out wide to Carter Berg. Carter Berg with a little step over. Double teamed here by Audie Jepson and Trent Blake. Audie giving chase back to Mo Tucker, who swings the ball around. Back to captain Bruno Garcia. Back out wide to Dominguez. Dominguez plays it forward. Number 20, Andrew Strait. Tristan Monroe collects. Sees it up to Audie. Ali Sasanka. And drop back to Zuri Robertson. Back to Trenton. And that'll be out, unfortunately, for Columbus throw-in.
What'd you think, Trent? Early action, 16, 17 minutes into this one as we get into the 17th minute.
Boys came out hot, both teams, man. So obviously they can't keep this style of play up the entire time. They've kind of cooled off with about the last 5-10 minutes or so. But obviously, you know, Columbus, their style of attack, their counterattack style of play, they're trying to emphasize that really early on, and TSC's been ready for it.
There you go. So here's an opportunity here for Columbus. This has the feel of a counterattack as they thread this one through. Looking for DePauw, but it'll be a little too long here and out for a TSC goal kick.
Ball swings wide to Trice Smith. Trice plays it back over to Tristan Monroe. Takes it on the dribble, 25-yard line. Plays it forward into a double team. Carter Berg able to thwart the pass. Adrian Fontanelli does the same to Berg.
Good outswing here from Sasanka. Blake, who seems to have a little more giddy up here tonight, of course. Playing college ball up at Dartmouth and a little humidity free, and so it feels like you're wearing a jacket here as we have a takedown by the neck and a free kick here as the freshman phenom from the Northeast earns a free kick here for TSC. They'll take it quickly. Spilled out wide here to Sundquist, but yeah, it looks like Blake has been getting his feet here, getting the start tonight, so we know the talent that Blake has, and he can fill it up. He's fun to watch, and he's an exciting player offensively.
Like you said, it just takes a little time to get acclimated, obviously, from around here, but playing ball very far away.
And here's Salone outside of his box, knees it over the attacker from Columbus. Tried to thread it through now on the far side. In the range here inside the 18. A rip is up and spins just outside the uprights. Will be for a TSC goal kick.
Can we refer to him as the ghost of Battle Lines Pass?
You know, within reason, as long as we're
that's not offensive.
We're keeping it PG here, Trent.
We loved him when he was here.
I don't have a problem with that.
But he's not wearing gold today, so.
Surrey in a challenge here, dug out by Columbus. They're looking to march forward here. Andrew Strait in the middle of the park. Spilled out wide. There's Sato. 30 yards from goal. Spins this one back here to Tucker. DePay. All the way around here. Dominguez. And they like Dominguez up there, too, on that right back. Kind of a crafty backer. He is. Doesn't mind flashing a little talent. Some excitement there. He's into the box here. Columbus on the corner of the 18. Threads it back out to the perimeter. That's straight. Center and ball here for DePay. Great slide by Sasanka. All ball, but the threat's still on. Service from Tucker. Nice positioning from Trice. Secondary ball once again. Controlled here by Columbus. Big Rob in the attacking surge. Of course, in here to Tucker. Threads it through, they say, onside. And there goes the flag here. Sloan, great position, though. Ready for Columbus to spring forward. Full stretch. And holding the line.
Yeah, number 9 there for Columbus. Not quite able to pick up his head in time, getting closed down by that battle line D. Had no idea where the goal was, just took a shot, and it goes wide. Battle line goal kick.
I like that. I wish we could get that song as like a mash it for like a sound bar. Hold the line. Down. But a good step here by the defense. And that's the thing. You know, we've seen it here for TSC the last couple years. You live and die here on this back three.
Oh, yeah.
Both the blessing and the curse, just like everything, has its goods and has its bads here for TSC, but largely it's been good. Back-to-back playoff appearances here for the men from the capital of the Sunshine State.
2 years under Joel Castry, 2 years in the playoffs, so I think it's working.
Pretty good clip.
Yeah.
Nice challenge for Fontanelli. Defender on the ground, making a play at the ball. Ref wants to talk to Fontanelli. And gives him a good ushering on here. Of course, the Chico State man. He's been fun to have around the program here this year, Trent. Really enjoyable.
Yeah, he kind of plays almost in that Schmoker role. I thought he might be a little played in a little higher attacking position, but I mean, we just have so many attack-minded players, and he has such a great vision and can see the whole field. So really love Fontanelli in that holding role.
He's like to liken it to basketball.
Ooh.
Oh, nice little takeaway
way.
and dish there from Sasanka. Yeah, but Fontenelli's kind of like an old school point guard, Trent. He really just loves to pass. He'd break people down and distribute.
That's so crazy you said that, because when Ali just did that back heel, I thought that was Kyrie Irving. Like, that just reminded me of something Kyrie would do.
Or a little J-Dub there.
Oh, yeah.
Azuri on the attack here to Jepson. A little small-sided 1-2 into Blake. He 1-2s with himself. Jepson picks up the pieces, tries to thread it through. Deflection here for Columbus. Blake is back on it. Threat for TSC looming. Centering ball. Big Rob in front of the goal. And heads it just over the top. But a nice little build-up. And some nice service from Blake. And the Sacramento State man rising high. And Victorville almost took the lead here for TSC.
Good stuff, man. I mean, you can just see Trent's work rate has just gone up week in and week out, and that's why he's getting the start today. We've seen him as a sub in the past, but now that he's got that fitness, he's acclimated to this heat, he's able to go in 60, 70 minutes, hopefully the full 90. I'd love to have Trent Blake out there all game, obviously. We got some subs we need to get in there, and it's going to be a hot one. But, yeah, man, it's just cool seeing him out there playing outside mid, tracking back on defense, and then able to set up Rob there. Huge cross in.
Yeah, and Rob's been a menace here in the box in a good way here for TSC. Relentless on kind of free kicks and generating some opportunities. We saw him blast in a nasty header at New Orleans to keep TSC competitive, as he really kind of put TSC on their back. Limited chances in that away loss, but able to put 2 in here and make it really interesting for New Orleans, which luckily we were able to get the second and third date victories here with the boys from the Big Easy.
But yeah, that was a great goal that he scored this past Saturday at Columbus. Johnny, after a corner, is lurking out about 30, 40 yards, rips one in, and then Alex Thompson shields the defender, and Rob just puts it perfectly in the side netting with his left foot.
This one's here, one back by Columbus. A little bit of control, and this is the opportunity. We told you, counterattacking squad, these are their moments. Threaded hit through for Sato. Back against play. Free runner in the box. And put into the bottom corner here. A free one going forward there. And it's going to be 1-0 here for Columbus.
And good ball played across the frame of goal. Good patience there. I believe that was number 20, Andrew Strait. Takes it with his left foot. Clinical bottom corner. And a lot of traffic there in front of Sloan, man. There's really probably not much he could have seen. Didn't even know where the ball was, I'm sure. So that's a tough one for him.
And that's the note of a good counterattacking club, too, is not only making sure you get to the front, but having wave after wave at the back post as well, because that was really the third option. TSC was up to the first, up to the second, but the third one kind of slicing home. And then, of course, stuck in the middle ground. And whenever you got a clear ball picked up about 12 to 15 yards inside the box, that's going to be trouble. So nothing the youngster, Tyler Sloan, could do about that one. So visitors with the advantage here, 25th minute, Trent. And, of course, that is troublesome. Or at least that has been a recipe for trouble here for TSC in 3 previous instances of conceding first. Tallahassee 0-3 this season, Trent.
Yeah, but we've also won every time we've lost this season immediately after. So
there you go.
So how about that?
There you go. Of course, something's going to give here tonight. TSC, fantastic marks when scoring first.
Well, how about we just pretend that one didn't happen? We'll get 2 real quick, and then we're good, huh?
There you go. Reminds you of that New Orleans game. We've seen them trail and win, but, of course, conceding first. But 3 victories and 2 ties when they score first. So they love to get out in front. Blake trying to turn the corner. There's Tucker. Blake on top of him, and this one will be spilled out of play for a TSC throw. 26 minutes. And this one back in play. Cycle around. Here for TSC, swing it all the way around to Trice over there on that left. There's Fontenelli popping out on the perimeter. Nice service here to Audie. Little too tall. And I'll skip in here to the Columbus keeper. I believe it's Campos in net there today, if I'm not mistaken.
Shout out Oldfields. Loud and proud.
There you go. Got the drums going here tonight, the old supporters group for your Tallahassee Soccer Club. This one threaded her through out to Blake. Cycle back around here to Robertson. Tristan Monroe, who's in that center back role here tonight. So good to have him back. Missed him early in the season. Of course, he went out at halftime Saturday in Columbus with a little ankle injury. So it looks like he is good to go, or he's soldiering through it. He does have some tape on the front of that cleat there. I don't know if that has to do with the toe ankle situation or that's some other related kind of flare that he has going, but just want to keep an eye on that. We also had a knock from Stewart on Saturday, but Stewart's in the 18 here once again. But then you look at it as you talk about the health and the players stepping forward, but, you know, Kyle Otis unable to make the 18 physically here. So, of course, the ebbs and the flows here of the season. Of course, we miss our boys from the Spanish Armada, Jorge Gonzalez, Rafa Alcalea, who have gone back to Spain. And, of course, happy trails to our new boy this year, Joe Warren, back to England, of course, having to address some matters back there. And it's tough, man, for international players here playing college and then trying to play in the summers. It'll grind you up and wear you down.
I mean, yeah, you got to spend time with the family as well, so I got to go home every once in a while. So we completely understand those players' obligations to their families, and we're just thankful that they got to come here and spend a little bit of their summer with us.
There you go, and that's lower league soccer.
Oh, yeah.
And that's TSC, you know, very player-friendly here. There's bigger things going on in the world, but if you got a chance to come through, you know, you're about the right things. You do things the right way. You embrace the battle line mentality. You know, nobody's off limits here. Robertson get into a dangerous position, centering ball here to Johnny. Nice little slip through here to Wilcott. He'll put it back on his left foot, centering back to Zuri, who did a nice little 1-2 here with Johnny. So a nice little attacking prod, but TSC will look to cycle around. And you can see Columbus dropping in deeper and deeper. You know, they'll have a couple prodding efforts here with their forwards, but they're just waiting to pounce. It's like a spring. They condense, and they're just looking to pop out. Wilcott, 20 yards from goal. It's going to be dispossessed. Columbus tries to break. Blake locks it in, but it'll be out of play, and it'll be a Columbus throw-in here on the near side. And we'll go to a water break here as we see our boy Rafa Alcalea piping at the chat. Jose's got one more, Rafa. This is his final game here, of course, serving his suspension. So we look to see him on Saturday down in Miami. So you should see your boy out there taking care of business. As of course, we'll love to have him back. But he's been hanging out with the kids, man. Of course, the TSC ASG camp. Of course, a lot of the boys getting in there. Of course, J5, Jared Wilcott here. Of course, dealing with some injuries as well. And, of course, rested a couple of the boys. John V out there. Great to see the organization coming out here and supporting the youth culture, growing the game, Trent, here in Tallahassee.
Yeah, for sure, man. And, you know, you talk about Jared. Jared's been out for this entire season, man. I mean, how easy could it have been for him to just say, okay, well, I'm not playing. Let me get out of here. But, you know, he's staying here. He's with the boys. He's supporting his brother, Rob, who's having a phenomenal season, really. Since the second game, Rob's come on and kind of figured things out and got acclimated to this heat, as we spoke about earlier, that Trent's been doing. I mean, he's been on fire the last few weeks and just has an incredible work rate up top, which you desperately need in a league like this.
Absolutely, absolutely. Try to get some cheap ones here if you can. Get up there poaching. Make it easy so you don't have to do it the old-fashioned way. Here, Trent, as we know, that is quite difficult here, especially in the West, as the talent pool continues to rise here. And, man, it's an absolute Shark Tank. And it's wild to think when you hear about a 6-team playoff and an 8-team league, It's hard to imagine there's going to be some class left out of the playoff picture, but it's tough that New Orleans is not going to make it, Trent.
Yeah.
Because they've given everybody some battles. They've tied this Columbus team twice. We've seen them take us down and give us 2 other thrilling 1-goal games. And we've seen them battle. They've beaten Pensacola as well. And sometimes the ties just aren't enough, which we've seen from TSC in the past year, Trent. You got to get all 3, and there's a couple that I'm sure that they'd like back here, but they're going to be a solid squad that's going to miss out on this postseason.
Yeah, for sure. But I just want to go ahead and take this moment to shout out TSC because, you know, in a lot of these close games in the past, like you said, they have been draws. And so we've really been able to kind of narrow that gap and turn those draws into wins at times this year. And obviously down early tonight, we'll have to have some of that magic again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you asked about it here is a nice nutmeg here as Zuri gets Fontenot napping there, Trent, as it cycled back around. Old Big C, they had some battles back in the day, the Florida High Leon.
And I'm sure they've gone up against practice plenty of times over the last couple of years, you know. So
Club as well, absolutely. Trey Smith with the service coming here for Robertson. He goes long ball over the top in the area of Blake. Secondary ball from Fontenelli. Heads it down back to Blake. Back to Fontenelli. Thought about ripping one, but he's got a nice run here for Fitzgerald. 33rd minute. Spelled out here to Jepson. Quick 1-2 with Fitz. Back to Fontenelli. Chipped over the top. Everybody's still onside. Needs some service if he can get it. He's got Fontenelli waiting in the wings. A little touch inside the box. The captain tried to get the centering ball, but it'll spill out for a throw-in over here on the near side. And Johnny feeling it tonight here, Trent.
They don't call him the Tallahassee Messi for nothing.
There you go.
That's it right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So back on the field here as we look to get rocking and rolling. Sasanka on out to Trey Smith. And there's Sundquist. Sundquist is like a player. His play style here, I think, can be effective against this Columbus team. If we can hit these pockets right on that defensive third, he's got some great service. Him and Fontenelli both are really fun to just watch distribute the ball. For those who were with the program last year, you know, Gaku Nakamura, or Nishimura, excuse me, really kind of felt in that role. Just so fun to watch them do their thing. Once again, not needing to score goals, but going off with that one. And here is Columbus on the attack. Oh! And that could be a card out as Sloan catches a knee to the face. And he's going to get a talking to there, and deservedly so. Fontenot with the yellow there. How about the young gun? Did you see his head whiplash for a brief second?
Yeah.
That was
And then did you just
nasty.
see him stand there completely cemented?
Yeah.
Just as strong as ever, man.
Woo.
Sloan strong.
Yeah, remember the chat? I think it was the Columbus game on Saturday. They were talking, it was either the Columbus or the New Orleans game. Somebody was talking about when the Sloan statue is going to be built at TSC.
That was it.
The hype is real, man. We talked about it 3 years, but seemed like a decade of hype waiting to be fulfilled. And the youngster is just a rock wall back there.
I mean, you hear about a 15-year-old prodigy goalkeeper. You want to see that kid, man. You don't want to wait until he's 19, but, you know, honestly, it's kind of been worth the wait. I'm not too mad.
There you go. And that's the thing. You got talent, man. You got talent coming through here. You talk about the keepers coming through, the keeper fraternity, Cam, Mark, Jorge, solid.
Well, that's the thing. If you look at Battle Lions rosters over the last 4 or 5 seasons, that's been the strongest point, in my opinion, has been goalkeeping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just the level of play year in and year out. And we've got a new goalkeeper every year. You know, it's not like we've just got a stalwart back there like a lot of these clubs in this league. We're rotating these guys in every year, and Sloan just happens to be the latest recipient.
There you go.
And he's earned it, though. I'm not just saying they go handing that thing out.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He's buying time up there at Stonehill, too. I'm waiting for him to get some more run up north.
It's inevitable.
But that's the game, right? That's the keeper game. You always got to be ready to step in, and you always got to be ready for someone else to step in.
Yep.
But it's a unique breed back there in the keeper trend. It's quite, you got to have some mental strength to be able to go through.
And a little lack thereof. You got to be a little crazy to play goalkeeper.
Well, yeah, you got to be adventurous, no doubt.
I mean, you saw Sloan, number 9's barreling down on him. He wasn't afraid.
Is this one here? A little pressure here from Wilcott. Trying to keep these boys honest here. As looks like our boy Jorge's in the mix here, Trent.
Okay.
He said nobody can hurt Sloan. Indestructible.
I love that, man. That's the fraternity right there.
There you go. Also, assistant coach Mason Solari. We talk about Leon alums in the house. How about Coach Solari getting some love?
Coach Player.
There you go.
Also playing for the ASG Academy.
Yeah, we saw him, trying to take down some youth players here.
I don't think he
a
tried.
couple weeks ago.
I think he got him, but.
Yeah, I don't think he's making many friends out there in Pensacola.
I mean, do you think he's lacing him up to make friends, though?
No.
Exactly.
All business. Of course, former battle line in his own right.
Oh, yeah.
Former midfielder here for TSC. Now working in the ASG ranks with the kids, building up that program. And coming under here, and part of that Joel DeCastri staff is because, of course, being the head man, you get all the love, right? You get all the love, you get all the hate. As a full stretch, Sloan lets this one go. Well done, and to win the goal kick there.
Man, that's knowing your post right there, knowing how far you got. I mean, that was really close, and he, last second, just takes his hand away from it. Love that.
Yep. But, of course, right there, always with JDC, you see Mason and Coach BMAC.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting in the wings.
The big three.
Of course, you can't forget about Coach Viardo as well. Coach Bruno in there. Of course, Coach Cam here this year helping out with the keepers and just kind of general team needs.
Coach Cam was laying out, saving some shots in warm-ups earlier, man. He still got it.
He still got it, man. Took the year off this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him lace up, throw on the all-pink or throw on the all-black. As Columbus, a little attack here. Full stretch here for Sloan. On top of it.
He just looks so confident and poised back there, man. I mean, the second he comes down with the ball, he's immediately scanning to see if, we got something we can go on the counter real quick or if he needs to slow it down.
Of course, making the home debut. Like we said, had to get some extra security here. Those Lincoln, Tallahassee, the Sloan block coming in here strong today. And we've seen it all year long. They want Trenton Blake. And they want Tyler Sloan.
Here it is.
And they're finally getting the double trouble out here tonight, Trent.
Yeah, have we seen them both start the same match, Jude? This has got to be the first one, right?
I believe.
Because I don't think, is this Trent's first start?
No. We may have had it last Saturday. I'd have to check the lineups. I know Blake got some good minutes. How about this little triangle ball here with Fontanelli, Fitzgerald, Jepson? The last one a little too strong. So to go back to the visitors. Crucial stretch, Trent. 5 minutes to halftime here. Of course, maybe a little stoppage time. Could see 2 or 3 with the water break and the goal.
And the card. Don't forget that card.
There you go. So, of course, got to be on your P's and Q's. Of course, that crucial sequence, that last 10 minutes of the half, of the 15 goals that TSC has allowed this season, Trent, 3 of those have been in the final minutes of the first half. 35, 36, 42 marker. This one service in, looking for Blake, a little too tall. And it'll skip through into Campos.
I don't know if we've seen TSC play this direct and sending as many balls in, at least here in the first half, as we have all season tonight. So, I mean, I really think that they've realized they've got to get more opportunities and more chances. Give your guys a shot, and hopefully, one of them goes in. We saw a great chance earlier from Rob that could have easily been a goal. So.
And I think that's kind of ins and outs as Columbus, like we talked about. This, it's like a compacted spring. So when they're not in an offensive spell, they kind of get behind it. And then TSC also maybe in games past a little more defensively minded here early. But Sasanka, a chance to run here. Some service to Sundquist out wide. And that's that early cross that we talked about that we like here, Trent. Sasanka now 40 yards from goal into Sundquist. We'll twist this one centrally. A little bit of a weird ball coming from Monroe, but calm and composed for the Lipscomb man, who's able to flood it out here to Trey Smith. Of course, Trice fits in with these West Coast guys. You know, went to school over at Providence and Jacksonville, but, of course, Humboldt State, you know, a lumberjack. So he threads right in with this San Diego, this Victorville, all those guys from the Golden States.
Obviously has plenty of ties here as well, so able to mess with our local boys too.
There you go. Of course, working full-time. He's out there counting stacks over at the bank, and he's out here
also counting stacks.
Slinging it, whipping those balls in from the left back. Here's Wilcott, an opportunity for him to show some individual prowess. Deflected by Columbus, and will be out for a TSC corner. This is huge opportunity before the halftime break here for TSC.
Presumably Fontanelli, the in-swinger, is going to take this one. But dang, dude, look at Columbus. They've got every single player in the box right now. They are taking no chances. This is the most compacted the spring will get.
There you go. So, of course, like you said, all 11 men in red in on it. You can see Trice Smith trying to carve out some real estate on that front post. You have 6 Battle Lions in the box, 2 looming. Zuri, the free safety. Oh, it gets down, and Monroe gets a foot to it. It was tough pressure from the back. A good opportunity coming here for TSC, and that one will go back here to Columbus on the save.
Great shot there from Tristan. The ball's coming to him, and he knows if he takes it normally, he's going to sky that one over. So to take some umph off it, he hits it with the outside of his foot, keeps it down, but goes straight to the goalkeeper. Still a shot on target. We needed it, man.
And TSC flexing. They did well here on that initial spell to prevent, because Columbus likes the early long ball and try to feed these wings against TSC. They attacked it all night on Saturday, but TSC in position to deal with that one and riding the high line here for Columbus.
And that's tough, man, because we know how fast number 9 is. And
watch the back door. Yep. There it is. That's what they want. It's going to be here to Sato. Robinson kind of playing that short zone. Here's he brings it back to his right foot. Try to curl for that back corner and skips right over the top. Out for a TSC goal kick. And that's what they want. That was very similar to how they had the goal here last time at the Gene. Bounced out, took the switch from their side of the park, give it out wide, and they're looking for the cutback and they're looking for the rip.
Yeah, good stuff there from Carter Berg. You saw that well before I did. I didn't even notice him down there. He was so quiet on the sideline. That's the thing, man. They just get so many players forward. It's hard to keep track of everybody. As we said, they were compact on the corner, so they obviously had to spring out on the counterattack after.
Yeah, but that's the danger of them is a long ball. Beautifully placed ball here. Wilcott, an opportunity to chase. Does well to keep this one in play. Oh, that did not go over the line. That is brutal. Wilcott did really well to chase that down and keep it in play. That's tough. Throw in coming back here for Dominguez. Little bit of pressure for Jepson as he's feeling it here today. A couple opportunities for him as he does. A spark plug up there. As Columbus will head it around the back. This is headed, so it is fair game here for the keeper, and Campos will scoop it up.
Yeah, Audie's fired up, man. I was talking to him before the game, and I said, I need you to get 2 or 3 more tonight, Audie. I know you've got that so far this season. We need more tonight. He said, I got you, Trent.
Threaded out through. Zuri with a nice win here. Looks like a plate of spaghetti with all those legs twisted up amongst each other. Here is Zuri gets in a collision here with Sato. It looks like we have a hold-up. It'd be a free kick here for Columbus. Tucker says he wants a card. Ref doesn't seem too interested on the advice. Ref in blue here tonight, Trent.
We've seen him rock the red, but obviously that'd be extremely confusing tonight.
Just cycle back around here for Dominguez. On through the back line here for Columbus. Long ball over the top here. Once again, it's Sato. And Zuri playing that zone as he's got to delay Fontanelli with the quick cutoff. And this is when TSC, if you can win one, you got to clear. This one's scrambling around on the back here foul from behind on Fontenot, and it'll be a free kick here for TSC. Here as we get into the second minute of stoppage time.
Number 9 better calm down. He's already on a card, man. That'd be a crazy turn of events.
Getting excited. Match that red uniform if he picks up another one. Is this one squared here for Fontenelli? Back to Smith. Left-footed service over the top looking for Blake. Campos read the scouting report. He's up to it, but Dominguez wants to play with this one, cycle it back around. And Columbus going to try to wind this one out, and they will. As we break for the halftime, a tight 2 minutes here for stoppage as we head into the break. Visitors with the 1-0 advantage here in a crucial match between Columbus and Tallahassee here today, Trent.
It's been a tough first half battle here for the Battle Lions, but they've done a really good job recovering on defense and really kind of stopped some of these attacks that Columbus was also displaying on Saturday that ended up turning into goals. So I think the Battle Lions have actually done an incredible job defensively here so far in the first half, and we've had a couple of chances. Obviously, we need more, but we're not out of this. There's still 45 minutes left and some stoppage. It's anybody's game.
There you go.
We're here at the Gene. It's the last game of the season.
Absolutely.
Of the regular season.
Last chance here for the regular season at the Gene, Trent. That is correct. As, of course, before we head into the break, we had the game earlier today. For those that care, over in the East, Naples, full-time winners here over Miami. So, of course, I think that would, as far as the seeding is concerned, you know, change it a little bit here for Miami. I believe that would pull them off the 2 line, I believe, as they would still be sitting at 9 points. Naples will go up to 19. So with 2 matches remaining, yes, that would clinch at least a home game for Naples and/or Jacksonville. So they're going to battle for 1-2. Jacksonville still has to play, of course, New Orleans. Naples will have to play Miami one more time, but Miami's locked into that 3 seed. So Naples will host that quarterfinal there on Saturday. So, of course, we're going to jump out for a quick commercial break here as we update things. And just for the record here, as we get the live table organized, if results will hold, Columbus, as you can see on the ticker, would go up to 167 points per match, would keep them up in that 2 spot. And, of course, TSC would tumble down to that 1-2-2. Once again, a Columbus win here tonight would clinch the 2 seed for Columbus. So, of course, excitement to come here. It will be a fun ride the rest of the way. Here, Andrew Jupe, Trenton Young, Ben Grubbs bringing you the action here tonight. We're going to jump out, do some business here to our fantastic community sponsors who help make this possible. But, of course, we got to shout out Blue Coast Federal Credit Union coming aboard with us. Of course, they are helping provide the live stream for you here tonight. So, of course, for our Spanish Armada back home or for those other people in town, if you like watching TSC live, you can thank the people at Blue Coast Federal Credit Union. Of course, you need some financial information, financial planning, you need some insight. You should probably check out mybcfcu.com for more information. Of course, stop by the old Big Bend office and get yourself some information, and they'll take care of you. They took care of us a couple weeks ago here with the free hot dog night here, Trent.
At least we
so,
forget.
of course, paying it forward, as did Troop 44 and 45, who are back out here tonight. So shout out to Troop 44 and 45. They're grilling up the dogs here tonight. We're going to jump out here for a quick commercial break. Second half coming back to you in just a moment.
Let's face it, our lives are busy. Whether we are picking up kids from soccer or sharing some family time watching a match, we don't have time to waste. That's why Blue Coast Federal Credit Union fits seamlessly into your busy life. With our convenient mobile app, online banking, and personalized service, managing your finances has never been easier. Join us today and experience a new wave of banking with BCFCU. Learn more by scanning the QR code below. BCFCU is federally insured by NCUA.
From getting back in the game to getting back to exploring all this life has to offer, our dedicated team is here for you every step of the way. With a patient-centered approach and unparalleled orthopedic and sports medicine care, our team of 70-plus physicians and providers are here to help you live a healthy and active lifestyle. With over 225,000 patient visits a year and servicing North Florida and South Georgia, you can trust TOC for all of your orthopedic needs.
When we approach an issue, we approach the issue as one entity.
Our team comes from all types of unique backgrounds. In any given session, there's probably not an issue that some member of our team isn't involved in.
When folks in government are interacting with our firm, they can always be assured that the individual who's talking with them is pushing the policy that they truly believe is the best and right policy.
We have such a wide variety of areas of expertise. Rarely do issues fall just in one silo. Having people who can address all the different parts of the problem is a big win.
The difference in our firm is we truly are a team.
Let's face it, our lives are busy. Whether we are picking up kids from soccer or sharing some family time watching a match, we don't have time to waste. That's why Blue Coast Federal Credit Union fits seamlessly into your busy life. With our convenient mobile app, online banking, and personalized service, managing your finances has never been easier. Join us today and experience a new wave of banking with BCFCU. Learn more by scanning the QR code below. BCFCU is federally insured by NCUA.
From getting back in the game to getting back to exploring all this life has to offer, our dedicated team is here for you every step of the way. You can trust TOC for all of your orthopedic needs.
Let's face it, our lives are busy. Whether we are picking up kids from soccer or sharing some family time watching a match, we don't have time to waste. That's why Blue Coast Federal Credit Union fits seamlessly into your busy life. With our convenient mobile app, online banking, and personalized service, managing your finances has never been easier. Join us today and experience a new wave of banking with BCFCU. Learn more by scanning the QR code below. BCFCU is federally insured by NCUA.
One of the cool things about our firm is we really specialize in bringing talent out of state government so that our clients can benefit from that internal knowledge that people have developed over the course of many years.
Clients demand a higher level of understanding of what they're up against. Who better to provide that than people who have been in that process and written those rules?
We believe that you can teach someone how to lobby. And what you can't teach them is the expertise they bring to the table from having served for 15 years in the Department of Transportation or having served for 10 years at the Agency for Healthcare Administration.
We come from state government in large part, so we've seen these decisions being made year over year. We know the direction that we need to move in, and we know what it is our clients are trying to achieve. So that's just an unbelievable combination.
I think for people who've come out of state government, it's just in their DNA to do what's right for the state and do what's right for the citizens of Florida. And I think that translates very well into being a lobbyist.
This is you. You're watching the Tallahassee Soccer Club online. Or maybe you're watching in person. Hold up. Wait a second. Yeah. Right there. Who is that? Who that is? Who are these people? Can you pause it? Oh yeah, I know where the answers are. Tally SC Talk Podcast. Whoa. All kinds of videos on this YouTube. This is gonna help me get to know my battle lions.
Let's face it, our lives are busy. Whether we are picking up kids from soccer or sharing some family time watching a match, we don't have time to waste. That's why Blue Coast Federal Credit Union fits seamlessly into your busy life. With our convenient mobile app, online banking, and personalized service, managing your finances has never been easier. Join us today and experience a new wave of banking with BCFCU. Learn more by scanning the QR code below. BCFCU is federally insured by NCUA.
From getting back in the game to getting back to exploring all this life has to offer, our dedicated team is here for you every step of the way. With a patient-centered approach and unparalleled orthopedic and sports medicine care, our team of 70-plus physicians and providers are here to help you live a healthy and active lifestyle. With over 225,000 patient visits a year and servicing North Florida and South Georgia, you can trust TOC for all of your orthopedic needs.
When we approach an issue, we approach the issue as one entity.
Our team comes from all types of unique backgrounds. In any given session, there's probably not an issue that some member of our team isn't involved in.
When folks in government are interacting with our firm, they can always be assured that the individual who's talking with them is pushing the policy that they truly believe is the best and right policy.
We have such a wide variety of areas of expertise. Rarely do issues fall just in one silo. Having people who can address all the different parts of the problem is a big win.
The difference in our firm is we truly are a team.
Let's face it, our lives are busy. Whether we are picking up kids from soccer or sharing some family time watching a match, we don't have time to waste. That's why Blue Coast Federal Credit Union fits seamlessly into your busy life. With our convenient mobile app, online banking, and personalized service, managing your finances has never been easier. Join us today and experience a new wave of banking with BCFCU. Learn more by scanning the QR code below. BCFCU is federally insured by NCUA.
And welcome back here to TSC Live. Shout out for those of you rolling with us here today on an entertaining showcase of some lower league soccer. So if you're just joining us, what in the world have you been up to? I hope it's a good excuse. Here, we're of course saying that in jest, Trent. Thanks for tuning in. The soccer community can always stand to grow a little bit, Trent. So come aboard the train here.
Second half better than ever, man. We got a barn burner out here tonight.
There you go. I mean, Columbus is newly on the train, right? We've welcomed them in here to the chaotic conference that we have going.
That's a good way of putting it, buddy. Chaotic conference.
Yeah, if you want the unabridged version of the conference commentary, you should check out the Tallahassee Talk podcast. Of course, a little more of an unfiltered conversation. But, of course, when we wear the TSC hat, we have to dial it in a little bit here as we approach the beginning of second half. Trent, but, of course, we talked about some observations from the first half, but what's on your mind right now, big dog?
I think I just like the ref is really letting everybody play tonight. We've only seen one card, and that was play on the keeper after the keeper already had the ball. You can't touch the keeper after they have established possession of the ball. So
that's in the rule book.
Yeah, you kind of actually have to give a card for that one, really. So, I mean, other than that, though, we've seen some physical play, and there haven't been any cards. So I'm really liking that the ref's letting us play. Obviously, this is a really big match for both clubs, trying to host a home playoff game, both for first time in team history. Obviously, Columbus's first year in this league as a club. TSC, we've been around year 4 now here in the National League in the Gulf Coast's long name conference.
We do, I believe, have the longest name conference in the nation here, Trent, in the National League. Of course, the Great Lakes gave us a run here. We had some other conferences out west, but I think due to some mergers and some consolidation, as it were, I think we do win for the longest conference name here.
I'm going to fact check you real quick. Give me a sec.
Yeah, go on the National League website. See if you can't find some updated information there.
Yeah, it might take me a minute or two.
Of course, we see here second half ready to go. Columbus and Tallahassee round number 3. Our neighbors, closest team on the schedule here in 2024. Course, about 2.5 hours, depending on who's driving, up to Columbus. Of course, north of the border. First ever Georgian team that TSC has played. Of course, third time we're playing them, so getting used to them here, Trent. But, of course, first time in history that they played in conference, my mistake. Of course, we have our buddies up there, Sowegans, who are fighting a good fight in the GCPL right now.
Of course.
Hey, they got a top-of-the-table matchup here coming this week. Little bit of a rough start, which you get, right? Year 2 is looking good for the Turtles. Turtle Power up there north of the border, Trent.
Yeah, we might get another friendly with them sometime in the future, so always got to keep our eye northward. But, hey, I just did a little research. Didn't take me as long as I thought. Can confirm that the Gulf Coast Sunshine Conference, as it is officially named, is the longest name in both words and characters in the National League.
There you go. Absolutely. So, of course, a couple of substitutions rolling here for TSC. Ethan Stone Cold Stewart here into the match. He's going to be spilling back here on this left-hand side. Looks like he's going to be the left back. A dangerous turnover here in the middle of the park. Rep Sloan needed to be called upon, and he is there less than 30 seconds into the first half here as TSC trying to get their back line organized and updated. Here, Trent.
The Great Wall of Sloan standing strong.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, of course, a test here from Columbus. Once again, dangerous team on the corner. Delivery going back post. Trice Smith and Wilcott in their secondary ball, and it's spilled up over to the upright here. And so no damage done, but a hairy situation as it looks like it fell to DePay right there about 15 yards from frame on the extended 6-yard box. TSC going to play short here. Stewart, Fontanelli. Stewart spins out of it. Pressure coming here for Columbus, and it looks like it's a throw here to TSC. And is. Looks like formationally Sundquist, Wilcott Jepson. So it looks like the substitute was for Blake. But, of course, they switched it up. They're going to push Sundquist up to the front line. And then they're going to have Stewart back here settle into this back line deep midfield position. Here's Robertson and Wilcott remain here as the rest of the 10 look to be the same. As this one's going to be cut through. And a late opportunity here for Columbus. Spilled and deflected front post. Looks like it was going back post. As Carter Berg, the new substitute here for Columbus, he's kind of that second half specialist for Columbus. We saw him be productive up there on Saturday and really kind of all season long. A little bit of a super sub here for the Georgian men this season.
Yeah, kind of their natural talisman that they have on the squad. But that was a great recovery from Ethan. The pass gets by him. He tries to cut it out. And able to keep. Go ahead.
Cleared out here by Trice. Dangerous one in the middle. Nice little overlap for Wilcott. Opportunity for TSC to stretch their legs. Wilcott does a great job. They play advantage as he fights through pressure. Hits him with the Reggie Bush over there on the far sideline. Coming back against the grain. Sundquist now with an offensive spell here to Fitzgerald. Everybody's on sides. Fitzgerald will cycle back to Fontanelli. Back to the Akron man. Of course, the Tallahassee Messi, as he's known. Part of the golden generation of Tallahassee, really, here, Trent. That Leon squad was trouble. Of course, can't forget about Jaden Jones-Riley on that squad as well. He's in the Portland Timber system now. Shout out to Jaden. And here's the takeaway, the counterattack. And once again, Berg on the task, and he's going to press that back line. Everybody holding that line, though, to make sure that Columbus is in order. But a little bit of a spurt. Robertson, Sasanka gets some help. Top of the 18. Here's DePay for Columbus. Tries to get a free avenue right at Sloan. It was a rocket, but he's up to the task. Stewart looking to clear with the left. Deflected off of Columbus. And the boys in gold will get this one back. And pulled the rug on Fitzgerald there, and so it'll be a free kick here for Tallahassee. Drops it back here to Trice. He'll cycle it back to Monroe. And that's going to be a focal point here is you got to watch Berg. He's a burner here on this outside. They're going to try to hit those corners. And so it looks like that's where they got Stone Cold back here trying to lock things down on this near side. Here's Battle Lions going south to north, right to left on your screen here in half number 2.
And we're seeing Johnny play out wide, something we haven't really seen the last few years for Johnny. So I think that just kind of shows the mentality that we're going to be using offensively here in the second half, having Johnny out wide serving balls in and maybe taking some shots from distance.
Sloan some service out here, looking to find out Sundquist. Does well to control this one here with the chest. So Sacramento State on over to Sagu as this one goes up over the top in the area of Wilcott.
It's Swagu, Juke.
I know, right?
Get it right, man.
Unofficially, they're changing it all together, dude. I forget what the new name, I think it's Newsom is going to be the renamed school come fall. So Ethan, of course, will be a rising junior this year out in Texas, out at formerly known as Southwestern Assemblies of God University, looking to change to Newsom University. He said, you know, he liked the old Swagoo, Trent.
I mean, it's just got a good roll off the tongue. Don't quite have that with Newsom, but
oh, there's Coach Solari.
There he is.
Who's getting some love once again in the chat.
We don't know if he's a father yet or soon to be father, but congratulations, Coach Solari.
I believe congratulations are in order, Trent. I believe that was very recently. Him and the missus.
A young battle lion birth.
There you go. Give him what? 16 years, right? Got to hit that 16-year mark.
And we saw Sloan, he was around at 15, so couldn't play officially yet.
Jordan Jepson wants to go quick, looking for Sundquist. This one will be out of play, and they love that quick throw. That has led to a couple TSC goals in this very position as they got to go. TSC conceding first. If they lose, they are mathematically eliminated from the 2 seed. They have clinched playoffs, but they will be unable to host if they lose here tonight, unless there's some kind of crazy upset that potentially they could host a championship, but it would have to take Miami getting through to the championship. And so on the 13th, if that situation played out, that's when that would all go down. But they would need the 3 seed because it looks like Naples, Jacksonville, Pensacola, Columbus would all jump over that scenario. Even if they got the win against Miami,
Yep.
they would still only be coming in at about a 1.4 points per match clip. Of course, currently sitting on 11. Luckily, when everybody gets to the finish line at 10, Trent, it's very easy to divide into the points per match standpoint. It's basically 1 through 9 matches, the majority of the season. That is the difficult part. But, of course, you can see down at the bottom, that is the live table, so that incorporates the result that's actively going on. So you see Columbus at 1-6-7. You're like, I thought they were at 1-5. Yes, they started the day at 1-5, but, of course, Blue Coast Federal Credit Union loves you to stay on top of your finances and your Gulf Coast Sunshine Conference standings and scores. Of course, check out mybcfcu.com today. But, of course, as you can see, that is incorporating current score line. You can also see Naples took down Miami, which clinches the 2 seed here for Naples. This one's deflected back in, open runner, and a long deflection falls back into Columbus. And, of course, that's how they do it. They're dangerous, and then they pounce. And that's the man you got to watch out for. Carter Berg, 54th minute. Visitors up by 2.
Yeah, that one's tough. If there's a player that you don't want that ball to fall to at the top of the box unmarked, it's definitely got to be Carter Berg. So, I mean, he does what he does best and slotted that one home, very narrowly in the bottom corner. So, very clinical finish there from him, as to be expected without any pressure there. But, yeah, tough from the battle lines, giving the ball up there, and how they find themselves in an even deeper hole, Jupe.
Absolutely. So what you got left, right? What you got in the tank? What do you want? How do you respond? As Columbus, with the insertion of Berg, got the visitors juiced up. And, of course, how does TSC answers? Because once again, result of this would clinch the 2 seed here for Columbus. Tried to thread through traffic, center of the park here, tried to chip it over. Good heads-up play there by Monroe. Eats that one as they try to go over top of his frame. And this one's going to be taken away here from Columbus, trying to go into the corner, looking for a cutback. Hisato swung back here to DePay, Kanagwa, Tucker, as they swing it around the horn here for Columbus. Swing it here near side for Dominguez, as the visitors look to carve this one out. And you can see, typically they like to go back into their shell, but now with the 2-goal advantage, you can see Columbus, kind of like those turtles from Southwest Georgia we were talking about in Sowegans. Now they're going to go forward and try to open things up a little bit now that they have their 2-0 lead, which, as we saw on Saturday, leaves some creases for you on the counterattack. But you got to get the payoff here, and you got to take some wind out of the sails here for Columbus.
Yeah, they definitely have the momentum right now. TSC definitely needs to answer, put one in the back of the net, kind of get this momentum back, get this crowd back into this game and the atmosphere that we desperately need to root these battle lines on a victory.
And it's the first time this season that TSC conceded within the first 10 minutes of the second half. Of course, typically the window that has been troublesome for TSC is that 65 to 80th minute, kind of that substitution window, is where we've seen them be strained and see opponents kind of cut through. Coming into the match, in that 15-minute period, they conceded 47% of their goals. 7 out of the 15 here so far. Threaded on through. Here's Dominguez, pressured by Sundquist. Fires it down the line. Once again, looking for Berg. Heavy touch here. Will be out of play. Back here to TSC. Stewart will look to take this one. Fontanelli out to Fitzgerald. Two midfielders with some really good touch here. Stewart center across here to Monroe. As they go Robertson, who's playing a little more offensive here in this half. Threaded through here to Jepson. He's looking to turn. Challenge there from the captain Garcia, and he'll spill it out of play. Free kick. Jepson takes that one. Nice switch here to Fitzgerald. An opportunity for TSC. Fontanelli on the cutter. Overlap here to Sundquist. Over to Stewart. Left-footed service going into the box dangerously. Wilcott in the area. Jepson's going to lock it in into Fitzgerald. 12 yards out. Tries to get it back on his favorite right foot. Spins from 18. Oh! Johnny B. Good. My goodness. Swirling, twirling, swirling. And the swashbuckler from downtown Tallahassee punishes the back of the net. And TSC won't go away. Perseverance, a pillar of the battle line mentality. And for the first time here tonight, it's a TSC goal! 57th minute. Johnny Fitzgerald, Tallahassee's own, gets us back to a one-goal game, and things get a little more interesting here, Trent. Great response, less than 5 minutes after the visitors put it in, and in more like 2.5 minutes here, Trent.
Yeah, that was huge, Jupe. There was an opportunity for Johnny to lay it off, and the second I saw him turn and neglect laying the ball off, I knew exactly what he was going to do and placed it perfectly, man. That was one of the best goals I've ever seen here for the Battle Lines, Jupe.
Ooh, look out. And, of course, you can see the haziness. That is not our camera. Those are the supporters group, and they want to let you know TSC wants all the smoke here in a Western Group showdown. Who's going to host next weekend is largely the question will be answered here tonight. Columbus can clinch it up with a win. TSC can take a big step forward in doing so with a win themselves. They're going to need 2 more here as Columbus leads the season series. They've played twice, Columbus with a win. And, of course, these two teams tied back here at the Gene about a month ago. TSC with a new adventure here, up forward to the front line. Jepson still has some in the tank. Early shot from him will be saved by Campos. But little something out of nothing. That was kind of Columbus' little taste of their own medicine on that far side, Trent.
Yeah, absolutely. Able to spring quick and able to get the throw here. I mean, oh, okay, just kidding. It's kind of hard to see through the smoke, I won't lie. I'm not saying that was a bad call. I just couldn't see it.
Because, of course, how about the Green Bay man getting on the horse, Trent? He's still got it, dude. He's still got it. Jepson burning on that back half.
Takes a big shot that gets deflected. Goalkeeper able to corral it, but, hey, man, that could have been Cody or Johnny right there to tap that thing in. So keep the pressure coming, Audie.
There we go. Pressure's cumulative, baby. Stay on it. Campos spires this one. Fontanelli, good takeaway. Off the heavy touch. Wilcott now 30 yards from goal. Threads it through to Jepson. Looking for a cutter. Back to Fontanelli. Look for the service from him. He'll park it down to Zuri. Swing it around the back line. And half for Trice. Stewart. Cycle around here. Great ball into Sasanka. Now to Fitzgerald. Through ball. Sundquist. Touch inside the 18. He's got Stewart if he wants him. Bails him out. Back to Sundquist. Big Rob's offside or onside on the back. They look to get to him. It'll be spilled out here by the visitors, but you can feel the momentum here. The crowd fueling on the Battle Lions as the pride of the capital of the Sunshine State is marching forward here. Back with some renewed spurt. Stone Cold with a little 1-2 after the spin move here as he tries to thread it through. And Santana tries to keep Ethan's hands out of the cookie jar, but that won't be the last that you see from Stone Cold.
Absolutely not. Jupe, and correct me if I'm wrong, looks like we're playing 4 out of the back here. Trice and Tristan in the middle, Ethan as the left back, Zuri at right. So a little different formation. Obviously, Coach Joel knows how quick this Columbus team can counter.
Of course, a little personnel, and that's why I think you saw the change to bring in Stone Cold here. But, of course, still no shortage offensively. And as we know, Stewart does have the green light to go forward.
With either foot.
There you go.
As we've seen.
This would be a free kick here for Columbus coming out of the back. So, of course, the crowd got it going here. A little frustrated, down 2 goals. Battle Lines didn't make them wait long, just 3 minutes. Great response here from TSC. Can they get one more now to level? Make it more of a carpool here and less of a taxi ride here for Columbus. Go back towards the center of the field. TSC trying to get the squeeze on. And Trent, the pressure's high. The energy's coming out of the tank. This is when you love to see kind of that next level, waiting for those super subs who we know can bring the heat. We got Big Mo, Coach Thompson on the bench. Also, we got the pride of Wakulla, Braden Paul, back in the 18 here today. He's a spurt of energy. He's fun to watch. Great little pickpocket here from Wilcott. He's being hounded by a handsy Tucker there. Tries to hit him with a little stop and go. The former LAFC man. Pride of Victoryville. He'll be a rising sophomore out at Sacramento State here this coming fall.
And we sure are thankful he decided to come play some soccer here this summer, huh?
Yeah.
What a beast he is.
Absolutely. Didn't have the chance to catch Rob on our pregame interview series here, as if you saw the commercial, but able to talk to his brother Jared, who unfortunately dealing with injuries here. And J5, he's a fun character.
Get Johnny a ball.
Need some help here.
We're trying to go quick all night tonight, man.
Fun watch, right? As we're here on YouTube after the game, check out Jared Wilcott YouTube channel. That's a fun ride. Jared, not the traditional spelling, Jared, Wilcott with 2 L's, 1 T. Takes you through the life, day one, days of a Division I athlete out west. Secondary ball coming here from Sundquist. Threaded through here. Collision at midfield. Is Jepson involved with that one? I believe is it Skirsch?
Yes.
15?
Emil Skirsch.
One of the elder statesmen. I know the Columbus people like him.
Yeah, I heard he's got some assistant coaching ties with the club, so might be one of those unofficial player coaches.
A young Bruno, you say?
Or a young Mason Solari, yes.
Threaded through here. Dominguez, Santana, Fitzgerald in pursuit. I was going to say, it's been a minute here. We were looking for that Fitzgerald goal. That's his first of the season. Very rarely does it take old Johnny Boy this long to get on the score sheet. An attempt here. Great full stretch there by Sloan. Two-handed ushering out of play as that one was destined for a date with the back post.
A great step over there from Bird to kind of free up some space and get some room to take the shot on, and puts it right in the bottom corner again, man. He knows where that ball needs to go, and a great step there from Sloan to get that ball out.
Sloan ready to go. 66th minute here. Quiet on the benches. Neither team warming up any substitutes. I think the only people down there is a 2011 ASG squad, who I think is running the ball duties here today. The U13s, I believe. That's what they used to call it back in the day, Trent. I guess they're just going by birth year now.
Yeah, I don't know how to categorize them these days, man. I played U17, that's all I did.
There you go. Woo, up and good there from Dominguez. The 32-yard field goal right down Main Street. Of course, sooner than you know it, just about a month away, Gene, we had some spring games going. We'll be back here for the full go-ahead. Fall football here in Tallahassee. It's one of the big shows. Chip over the top, Sloan, and the offside flag is up.
Thankfully.
Hold the line. Here in the 67th minute. So good communication here by that defense. That's one of Monroe's biggest assets. He's a fantastic communicator / general of the back line. Very vocal. You could hear him clear as day. I remember watching the Pensacola broadcast, which I think was Monroe's first game with the club here. That away day at Pensacola, you could hear him loud and proud barking out orders there from the back line.
Yeah, we sure missed him whenever he was out, and obviously we've had plenty of injuries and absences, so definitely needed him big tonight, and he's come up big for us.
Indeed. Threaded through here for Wilcott by way of Robertson. Great burst about him. Does Wilcott. Very active again today. Almost had one on the header here. As Jepson tries to thread this through. Bounces free to Columbus. Free runner on the back. They say onside. Here comes Sloan. And that's a tough one. Beaten on the backhand side. And a familiar score line here is what we saw on Saturday. Third through here for Columbus over on that far side. I believe it was Chato over on the back, 16.
I think so, sir.
So that'll be 68th minute. Crease here for Columbus. 3-1 as they get back to a 2-goal lead, Still time for TSC, though. 25 minutes here to get something back going.
Got a substitute here. Number 15, Emil Skirsch, coming off for number 7, Damian Gallegos.
Once again, resuming play here for TSC.
Still plenty of time, Jupe.
Indeed. 25 minutes. Seen him come back here from deficits at the Gene, successfully so. So open and another chapter to that storybook. Let's this one go through here. Fitzgerald looking to go back towards the center of the park, cut out at the midfield. Once again, Columbus on the counter. We talked about him. Dangerous attacking squad here. Sloan on the island again.
Oh, yeah.
Second ball. Sloan has it again. Fantastically done here for the young star from Stonehill. If not for 2 big ones, that's 4 for the visitors.
Tyler, sit yourself down, Sloan.
Had to have that
That was
one.
big, man. That was multiple saves.
Absolutely.
Well off the line.
Yep.
Just goes back to that confidence he has, man. He's not afraid to get his hands a little dirty.
Yeah, and it looks like Columbus is going for it. They're going for it big time. They've really kind of turned it up here in this second half. It's got the feeling that they are trying to make a power play statement here. He's not only trying to go forward and lock up that 2 seed, but they're trying to put people on notice, it seems.
Yeah, this is certainly a statement that they're trying to pull here. Obviously, they sat back and got their 2 goals, and then they kind of let TSC mess around, get one back, and now they're going to turn it on and try to prove a point here.
But you can see them start to expand, and they're definitely rushing numbers forward a lot more than the first half, and you can see TSC looking pretty gassed here as everybody except Stone Cold has been in start to finish here, and they went with the press. It was really taking a lot out of the tank. They got the 1 goal, but then, of course, that third one back here from Columbus. Kind of a backbreaker here. TSC still with time, but going to need something special. They go Lombo over on the far side. They like that big switch. And watch for the pullback on his right foot here from Chato. And there it is, centering ball. He's got a runner in the box. Tries to go back. Wanted to finish it, that one himself. Luckily, Sloan and the defenders in a good position where it initially spills out of danger. So to be goal kick back for TSC and Sloan. 71st minute of action here for TSC. And, of course, the Brain Trust in full swing here. Of course, getting the paperwork in to Casey Domack, longtime volunteer here with the club. Does a great job doing the managerial duties down there on the field. As this one's dropped back here to the back line of Dominguez. Pressure on the front line, but no secondary stuff here from TSC. So Columbus is able to break the pressure. Threads it through and offside. Berg with the hand in the cookie jar for a 72nd minute here. And you got to think you got to get some attackers, you got to get some speed and then some energy. And so I think the three big ones you see up there, Thompson, Paul, and Big Mo, are your likely candidates. Maybe all three coming in here, Trent.
Maybe even Lucas Leiva, too. It looks like he's warming up down there.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Leiva probably, if he does come in, going to try to reinforce that back line, Trent, as we have a yellow card on Berg. Of course, Fontenot to the bench with his yellow card. He got subbed off, so I believe Berg is the only active player on Columbus with a yellow. And he's quite the expressive young man. We had this threaded through here, back to Trey Smith. All the way back to old Uncle Sloan. Clears it out here to Wilcott. Does well to get it out of danger.
Great ball.
Good scoop by Big Rob. Able to get it off of his chest. Throw it out with the header. As he settled it down so well, I think he even impressed himself, Trent. He thought he was going to pop it up a little more.
He's about to turn and have it.
Another deflection here for the Lurkin frontline player. Once again, second offside in about 45 seconds here on Berg. That's the thing. He's going to make him call it.
I mean, it's not basketball. You can't foul out. So he can get 40 offsides and still be in the game.
Platoon substitution. Fitzgerald off. Jepson off.
Big Rob.
Big Rob off. And
Tristan.
On the back line, Tristan Monroe off. So, of course, going to go forward attacking. Alex Thompson in. Big Mo Gibre in. Malachi Wright in. Braden Paul in. The big four-pack here for TSC. So Sasanka's going to fall into a more defensive posturing. Here's we have some service. Awkward ball there for Campos, but he's up to it. And instantly some service from Thompson into the center of the box here from Malachi Wright. So, of course, Malachi, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, making his TSC debut tonight.
I believe so as well.
One by Sasanka. He's going to lock down the middle of the park. Good win, powerful there. Sundquist. Service to Thompson. Here's an opportunity here if you want it at the back. Threaded through. That one with pace. Scooped up by Braden Paul. McCullough's finest there. Into Fontanelli. Everybody actively onside now. A little bit of pressure as Columbus tries to squeeze it off. Back to Zuri. Back to Sasanka. As we go all the way back to Sloan.
Big Sloan coming up. He wants to get involved in this.
I mean, you got to go for it, right? If you're trying to get a result here. I mean, now's the time. Stone Cold tried to thread it through for Wright. He's going to give Dominguez chase. Make him think about it. Dominguez just kind of flirting with him back there on the back line. Lets it go. Toying with the youngster. Substitution pending here for the visitors. Jeb Scarborough coming in, I believe. Is that for Straight? Looks like 20.
Number 20 Straight, yes, sir.
Yeah, so Straight's going to be off. Scarborough's going to be in. Scarborough was an adventurous player here that was contributing to some of those adventurous runs for Columbus over the weekend.
Yeah, he was big in that second half for them Saturday for sure. And that's the thing, man. This Columbus team, they're deep. Like, they're able to take guys that would be starters on our team and sit them for the first half and then throw them in the second half like Berg.
Very systematic, too, is Columbus. Yep. So, I mean, we kind of talked about it, right? Is, you know, you have them as a team that's in form, Trent, that you really like coming out of the West. And they are not a team that's really emphatically jumping out at you. You think about teams in comparison that can show some excitement, like your Jacksonville's and Pensacola, who are just dominant, attacking, try to have some excitement. Columbus has kind of got that sneaky good sense. Like we said, very adept at the counterattack here and pounce when they have the opportunity, Trent.
Yeah, they'll definitely lull you to sleep, but we see how quickly they can pounce when it is time for them to. I mean, it seems like every goal they've had has just come out of nothing. They just put forth a couple passes and send one over top, and then they're one-on-one a lot of times with their back line or with their keeper. So, I mean, they're a quality side. I think they're the best team in the West, and I've been saying that on the pod throughout the week. So, definitely a tough draw here for the Battle Lions against Columbus 4 days after we had to go up there, but at least we forget that Johnny Fitzgerald goal, man.
There you go. I believe, we'll have to check the score sheet, but by my count, I believe he's scored in all 5 Battle Isle seasons now, as we were waiting for this one in 24. I know for a fact he's scored in 23, 22, and 21. So we have to go dig deep for that GCPL data back in 2019 as this deflection goes out, called a throw to Columbus. Here on the near side will be Santana. So, of course, the substitutes looking to kind of get their feet wet here. Hopefully they full-on jump into the pool here, Trent. Get a couple goals out of the mix, make this thing pretty wild.
Might as well. I mean, we know for a fact that this is a home game we have here. We don't know if we're going to have any more this season. So
yeah, true.
Got to make it count.
Regardless.
What a ball.
Oh, there's Paul, and this one's going to be fumbled by the keeper. And how about the speedster? Former Big Band Player of the Year from McCullough High School. That's what he's in for, direct play, something out of nothing. And, of course, they will fumble Ruski down there at the top of the box. Braden Paul making him think about it. Here's this one's threaded through. Big Mo, his first touch of the game. Munir Gibre, affectionately known as Mo.
Mo money, mo problems.
There you go.
Hopefully he can be a big problem for this Columbus defense here in the last 10, 15 minutes.
There you go. The pride of Ouagadougou from Western Africa. He's fun to watch. They kind of have him slotted in kind of that holding midfield position. As we're kind of in a 4-3-3 with Zuri, Ali, Trice, and Ethan, kind of that flexible back four. Then you have Thompson, Mo, Fontanelli, kind of that midfield. And then it's Wright, Sundquist, Paul up top. Stone Cold taking it down the near side here. That'll be a throw into Columbus. Substitution pending here for the visitors. In minute 80. And the referee doesn't want to hear him waste any time. Miss Sato going to come off. And number 10, Rafael Kawada, into the match here for Columbus.
And Rafa Kawada, one of the better players on this Columbus team, so just kind of goes to show we were talking about them holding back some of their players and saving them for the second half, showing how deep that this Columbus side is.
Then, I mean, this summer season, and we've seen it for, you know, TSC, resting some guys, getting some of that load management, so to speak. I mean, especially the back half of the season, you're running 2 games a week out in this terrible southeastern humidity and heat. And with the condensed season that's progressively getting more condensed here as they try to pump up the playoff dates into earlier July. And, of course, they want to start later, more into May, less of April. You know, this is the kind of result. You get a lot of wear and tear, and these guys, all players, all squads, get kind of chewed up and spit out here in the Gulf Coast Sunshine Conference. Clearance here for Columbus, all the way back to Sloan here.
Let's see an assist.
10 minutes and change here for TSC. This is kind of pressure time. There's a nice ball from Sloan over to Paul. Thompson, nice spin on that one. It's going to be playable, make the keeper think about it. Paul giving chase here to Campos. But once again, some adventure there from the right side. Coach Thompson, of course, one of the initiants. going after it as this one's thrown over the top. Good win there by Stone Cold. Flicked onward by Wright. It's going to get to Fontanelli. Sundquist coming into that one late. All the way back to Trey Smith as the visitors will take this one. Sasanka. And now it's going to body up the seemingly tiny Scarborough standing next to our big man from the West Coast. Dumped back here to Sloan. Spilled out over the top. He goes long to get it out of danger. And now TSC going to take a gamble. Now they're stretched. Tried to win it at the midfield. Columbus, this is where they excel. Great win by Zuri out of the back. See if TSC can get something out of it. Dominguez with a little hockey clearance there. And Sloan will scoop up the icing and give it back here to Sasanka. Plays it short. Mo, nice through ball here to Wright. Finding the feet. Somehow gets through to Sundquist. Wow. Direct play here from Paul. And cleared out for Columbus as the speedster. 2 balls on the field here, so we'll have a little hold up. Of course, Columbus in no rush on that clearance. So still some life in it. It's going to take something special here for TSC. Something like this we haven't seen in quite some time since that 2021 season against Pensacola, where they came back from the dead down 3-1, scored 2 goals, 85th minute plus.
What a game that was, huh?
To steal a point on the road. Of course, keeper at the time, Brandon Krombeck with the assist on a free kick to make that 3-3. That was a wild game. 21, going back post, Sasanka, Zuri in the area. Falls to Stone Cold, rip from 30, and Stewart not far off. He's already got 2, looking for lucky number 3. And that was about a little more than that. Probably about a body length off the post, but not as far out as you think. Of course, he's got a mean left foot. Does Stone Cold take up the right-hand side? And big touch here is going to be a foot race. He's going to try to turn the corner. Wants to go near post, and it'll be out for a TSC goal kick. Good composure there by Sloan. Staying with it, pressured the attacker. Didn't go to ground and give up the corner there, but kind of made them press their interest. Same gets his one back for TSC.
And same with Ethan Jupe. I mean, that was great recovery from him to not give up on that play and to kind of be right there on Scarborough's hip the entire time, making him a little more comfortable on the shot.
Good takeaway here from Paul. Going to give TSC a free one. Tries to dump it back in the center of play here for Sundquist. But, of course, had to play it early, so not necessarily where he wanted it, but an opportunity here for TSC to keep the pressure on. They got a lot of fresh legs in there, so especially up top, they're going to try to take some gambles. So TSC is going to leave some out of the back here because they got a gamble going forward. You know, at this point, goal differential in the big picture of their season is not really going to matter. So I think they're kind of throwing caution to the wind. You know, you'd rather try to throw numbers forward, try to get 3-3. And, you know, if you end up with a 5-2, you know, doesn't really matter.
Yep.
Here, because if Columbus gets all 3, they would take the second seed anyways. Of course, tiebreaker goes to head-to-head. Of course, this would give Columbus the cemented head-to-head advantage. Sloan going quickly, plays it low here to Stewart. Kind of on an island with 3 Columbus players. Turned over here. Now Columbus looking to counter. Numbers forward, not necessarily a good equation here for Columbus, but they had enough to kind of launch something, but of course in no rush. 86th minute now, still with the 2-goal advantage. Visitors trying to hang on, could clinch that 2 seed, and as you can see down at the ticker, that 167 would be accurate for the table as it stands. That is up to date. With the advantage, they would go 167, and now, you know, flirting with that would be 4th overall seed. Which, you know, if you get some shenanigans over in the East and you can make a run, you know, anytime you can get points, it's a good thing here, Trent.
And that's why we need some Jupe. Still a couple minutes left.
Of course, getting into minute 86th. So we've had, 3 goals here in the second half. And we had the water break. No real disciplinary stoppages, but yeah, you had the brief moment of pause for the yellow card on Berg. Surprisingly, I won't say it.
Yep.
We'll see. I want to let it ride for a couple minutes. Twisting, towering shot. Adventurous there from about 28 out. Kanagwa.
I want to see a Sloan assist here, man. I want us to push numbers up in the attacking half, drop that ball back to him, and just let him service one up Cranbeck style.
There you go. 87th minute, Fontanelli. There's some service. A little direct play for Paul. That's out of play. And he'll probably go in the book. Referee said leave it, but he played on anyways. That's on 5, Santana. So now 2 people in the game here with yellows. 5 and 18 for Columbus. TSC going quickly to Fontanelli. Got to get some numbers forward, though, here. So once again, TSC will be vulnerable at the back. Threaded it through to Mo. Got Wright and Paul on the front line. Weak side. Here comes a late arriving run here for Thompson. And he's going to take it all the way down the offside line and go back. Big throw looking for Fontanelli getting inside the box. Touched by TSC. Dominguez will let this one ride. And that one looked to be touched, but they'll say goal kick. Must have been just over the line there. Per the man in blue at the center of the park.
Great stuff from Coach Thompson there to hold that run that he had here on the sideline and allow that space to open up behind him. Recycle that run.
Substitution come in here for TSC. It looks like an old friend, Lucas Leyva, coming back in. We saw him in the early season, first couple games. He's going to come in for Sundquist.
Great effort from him tonight.
So it'd be interesting to see if it's a clean sub for sub or if he falls into more of a defensive posturing to send Ali forward. But it looks like they're going to put him up in the midfield. Here as you've exhausted most of your substitutional options. I believe the only one you have left in the tank is your backup keeper, Xander Bilig. This one spilled out. Good chase there by Paul. The defense for Columbus
Great
on top
stuff.
of it. Good slide there by Thompson. Quick throw looking to go into Paul. Tries to get a touch to it. Flip over the top. Mo in the area. Ball won here by Columbus. Spilled back out to Leyva. Good control by him. Back to Thompson to Leyva. And they let it go for a moment. But they'll call it back here. Throwing 89th minute now. And the Swans beginning to warm up their song here. As Columbus tries to march forward and lock in a date over at their place on July 6th. Will be the 4th date here between these two squads. So it's just a matter of who's hosting. Ball out to the perimeter. TSC with numbers back. So it looks like nobody open on the back door here. Good step there by Leyva, but once again, an unfortunate deflection here for TSC. Center of the park, good positioning there. Trice Smith getting just enough to rip it out on the perimeter and shot going wide here for Columbus. Had to have that one. How about Trice going full stretch in the box with the old wraparound?
You'd love to see it, man, especially in the 90th minute. Trice putting in all these minutes season after season here for your Battle Lions.
Indeed. Trying to get numbers forward here. Sloan on the delivery. You're almost waiting for them to go kind of power play mode. Let Sloan come out of the net here. Try to get 1 or 2 in stoppage. We'll wait from official indication, but what'd you think, Trent? 4 or 5? Seem on par for you?
Yeah, I think 4. I don't think they'd go 5, but, you know, we've certainly been wrong on that in the past, so we'll see.
3 goals, 2 cards. This one's played back. Mo getting into it. Campos spills it again, getting dangerously close to that line. So we've seen a couple times that Campos has spilled this one and kept it interesting here for TSC.
Yeah, that was almost very dangerous free kick there for the Lions and almost certainly would have been a card for Campos, but I do believe he kept his body and the ball inside the box.
Chopped out by Fontanelli. He took a little heat off of it. Then deflected by Trice. Wright tried to get in and turn it back against play, but tough positioning. Trying to go against the grain there. 2nd minute of stoppage time. Coming back towards it, Santana centering ball. Columbus still on the attacking front. Still throwing numbers forward. Trying to seal the deal. A mirrored score line here from Saturday. And just a couple days ago. Into the corner. A little underlap. Awkward handoff there. Going to be one out here by Wright. Guibray going to give chase. Big Mo trying to make things interesting. Front line pressure, but the secondary's not there as the Battle Lions try to get into transition. So he needs some support. Go, boys, go. Go, go, go.
And right here, I mean, we're seeing one of the strengths of Columbus, if not their biggest strength, is just holding the ball and possessing it. It's just hard to get the ball away from them. They're very skilled at playing the ball quick.
And especially with their speedsters, they're very comfortable in seceding the gap of the midfield, bringing them back, allow them to go defensively. But once they win it out, they've got numbers for service long. Seen it all second half. Get up to their speedy front line and let them do some damage. Cycled around the back here. Just need one more body here for TSC to make the number game work. This one cycled around, going back to the back line. And a quick turn. 3 minutes stoppage time will take us to the final here for TSC in Columbus. And just like it was north of the border, end up here with a 3-1 result to the visitors.
Tough, but, you know, silver lining here. Playoffs again, already clinched, so didn't really lose anything. You're just playing to host, but you still got the playoff game. And, you know, I was talking to BMAC and Coach Mason, and they said realistically, if there's a team that they've got to go play on the road in the playoffs, they wanted to be Columbus because that's the shortest travel distance. So realistically, it's not the worst draw that the Battle Lions could have get. Obviously, we wanted a little bit more from them tonight, but Johnny finally got his goal, man, and what a way he did.
Indeed. Yeah, gave him some life. And that's what we've saying. We've seen brilliance here in goals for Columbus. As you think about only scoring 1 goal per match against Columbus, but you had the Audie Jepson free kick thriller. You had the nasty one-time merry-go-round from Robert Wilcott. You had the whirling dervish Johnny Fitzgerald Festival of Touch ended up in the side netting. And, of course, 3 big ones, but out of the 3 matches, only going to get the 1 point against Columbus.
Yeah, it's tough, man, and that's, you know, just going to be another mantra for Coach Joel to push forward going on the road in the playoffs, man. This team has bested us, and they've got our number, and we've got to show that we're just as good, if not better than them, and I know he'll be preaching that, but, you know, first things first, we got to go down to Miami and take care of business down there, Jupe.
There you go. Absolutely. So that's a bright spot, right? You talk about, so we saw some guys getting here some rest tonight. Also, you talk about fresh bodies who are ready to go. Jose will be eligible to play. He'll be back from his suspension. So I know the chat, we saw free Jose Vivas. He will be freed. He has now served all the required games of his given suspension and hope to have some attacking presence here as we're going to need some goals down the stretch here, Trent. So the game in Miami at face value has nothing to play for. But when you think about bigger picture of what it could mean, you still want to go down and win the series against Miami because there is a chance that TSC and Miami could meet. And if you're at a higher points per match than Miami, even though the 2 teams are locked in at the 3 seed, TSC would have the more favorable points per match going into that contest. Granted, it's going to be pretty close coming down the stretch here because I think Miami, with having 9 points in 8 games, would be at a 0.89 so far. And, of course, no, excuse me, that's the other way around. So it'd be, I believe, 1.12. So TSC right now sitting at 1.222. Check my math if you don't mind.
I'm
here.
trying to.
9 points in 8 matches because they've still got 2 to go. Okay, so 1.13. So I said 1.12, but all that to say is 0.09 back of TSC at the current juncture. So if you can get a result, it would guarantee you, as long as Naples plays their part, they've still got 1 game against Miami. So, of course, Miami, the only team remaining to still play 2 matches. Of course, if you can take care of that and you get some help from Naples, at least you would have an opportunity. Though it may look like a pipe dream based on what we've seen so far this season, Trent. You know, why not? Why not go get the thing, Get it going.
I mean, it's yours for the taking, and I know these boys are hungry and they want it, so, I mean, anything's possible. But, yeah, you go down to Miami, that's kind of a morale victory if you're able to get the 3 points out of that and take that form of you getting to win and getting 3 points on the road down in Miami into the playoffs. So I'm actually pretty thankful at this point that we have that game because, it'd be tough sitting around after losing 2 in a row to Columbus and then waiting to play them again on the road. You don't want to have that looming over you. So very thankful for the Miami match. I am. I don't have to make the trip down there, so I'm sure the coaches and players maybe share a different sentiment than I do. But still, thankful for the Miami game. Hopefully we can wrap it up strong with 3 points, have our boys have a little bit of momentum going forward into the playoffs. But, yeah, I think the silver lining here tonight is 2 playoff berths, 2 consecutive years under Coach Joel DeCastri.
There you go. Of course, a bright spot. Of course, getting news from the league earlier today that was indeed official. So TSC clinching a playoff spot. So, hey, once you're in, anything can happen, right? We've seen it the last couple of years how things get a little nutty come playoff time. And I think TSC gave the then 1 seed last year. They snuck into the playoffs, right? Last year, gave the 1 seed all they could handle over there on the road. So give yourself a chance. Crazy things that happen, but between now and then, Trent, they got about a 950-mile road trip down to Miami round trip. 475 each way down there to Monsignor Pace High School down there in Miami proper.
That's a bit of a trek.
Yep, just a little bit.
That's tough. But, hey, I mean, we go to New Orleans every year, once or twice, so not that much different, really.
Yeah, of course, in the old team van, that's probably going to be about a 10-hour haul.
Yeah, with all the
to
stops,
get down there.
For sure.
So maybe looking at a little delayed game kickoff there for travel concerns. Maybe they'll go with that 8 o'clock kickoff. We'll see. But anyways, here to start things off, of course, TSC getting the drop, still making the playoffs like we said. Silver lining, which you may or may not have already known as the players getting down and stretching there. Tough one. Same result, score line-wise, as Saturday. Felt like a couple opportunities taken well, though, for what they had. So as far as the percentages standpoint, solid. But unfortunately, on the short end of the stick here is TSC. Any closing thoughts here, Trent, before we put a bow on this one?
Columbus is good, man. TSC's good, too. It's going to be a tough battle here in another week up there in Columbus. So very proud of the boys this season. Like I said, got to finish strong, but just looking forward to the playoffs at this point, man.
Yep, there you go. There you go. And, I mean, that's going to be a battle. That's what the West was. We saw it early. We took note. West by far stronger team here in the conference. Loaded. You see a good New Orleans team. They're going to be on the outside looking in. And that was the thing, right, with New Orleans dropping points at home. And so you see it here for TSC. What did the top 2 teams do? Take care of business at home. And so we're now seeing back-to-back weeks here at the Gene on the short end of the stick. And that's why TSC is going to be hitting the road here. So things beginning to lock into place for the conference proper. So, of course, the numbers aren't right, but the positioning is. Columbus is going to go up to 167 on points per game on the left. TSC is going to fall to 122. Everything else to remain the same. Naples actually will get a bump because they took down Miami. So they're actually at 2.11. So we have 3 teams with 19 points in 9 matches. So PFC, Jacksonville, Naples in what is the table proper that everybody loves so much, currently gridlocked. So, of course, Jacksonville and Naples are even, win-loss tie, so they're head-to-head, boom. Pensacola, they have not played either of those teams, so they would go back to points per match and then do the tertiary tiebreakers here of the National League.
And least we forget, Pensacola still has to play on the road at Columbus before the playoffs start.
Right, so they locked up the 1 seed, but that will kind of go a long way. So, okay, who would be your favorite to emerge? All these teams at 2-11. Pensacola's got to go to Connect to play Columbus. Jacksonville's got to go to New Orleans, 9 hours over out west. Naples gets to host Miami.
What was the question again?
Who's going to emerge of those 3, the top, based on points? Because they're all even right now. They've all got 1 game left. Who is your favorite to take?
I got to go with Naples over Miami just because Miami's given up. Well, besides GSP, I feel like Miami has probably conceded the most goals out of any of the teams this season. So just realistically thinking, the gap between Naples and Miami is pretty large, I'd say. So, I mean, you could easily see Jacks going out there and taking care of New Orleans 3-1, 4-1, something like that. But realistically, I'm seeing Naples go over Miami 3-0.
Which is wild, right?
I mean,
Naples with a chance to steal overall 1.
Yeah, think about that. If they win by 3, and then Jacks only wins by 1. Wild stuff, man.
Yeah, so tiebreakers per the National League website. With 3 or more teams, it comes into a most in-conference wins competition. But if it's just 2 teams, then it goes to head-to-head, then to goal differential in the head-to-head, then most wins in conference competition, which we don't have any outside, then goal difference in conference competition, which is irrelevant, fewest losses in conference competition. But all these teams, Trent, since we have a 10-game schedule and they all have 19 points, I believe that puts everybody at 6 victories, 3 losses, and a tie, which means there is a very high percentage that we could go to a coin toss to decide the East and the overall number 1 seed. So, of course, if you want to check that out, visit npsl.com/playoffs-2024. Have yourself a good laugh and enjoy yourself. Toil around there, the website, of course, going forward here today. But before we get too far into the weeds, Trent, we'll get on out of here. The boys falling a little short, but hope. There is hope on the horizon. Still 1 more regular season game. And then playoffs.
We talking playoffs, Ju?
Yeah, buddy. So, thank you for joining us here today for potentially the last time this season here from Gene Cox Stadium on TSC Live. Thank you to Blue Coast Federal Credit Union for all your financial information. Visit mybcfcu to get all that information. Of course, that's .com, as you can see down there on the ticker. Of course, get yourself squared away financially, as they has been giving us squared away all season long on the scores and the standings. So shout out to Blue Coast, as well as all the other sponsors. Before we get out of here, you've seen the commercials, but visit Tallahassee, TOC, Tallahassee Orthopedic Clinic, Rabana and Ritchie, PLLC, Proof Brewing Company, which, of course, hosted the pregame here today, Tally Macshak, Grova Creative, the Southern Group, Corinne Johnson, the Curly Girl Team, Down, St. Germain, Carr, Riggs, Ingram, CPA, Marquise Software Development, Pearson Realty, the Concrete Yeti, the City of Tallahassee, and Bannerman Landscaping. Of course, shout out to our snow cone truck and all our tasty barbecue that we've had all season long, and the hot dogs, and Troop 44, Troop 45, slinging the grill here tonight once again. ASG, shout out to 2011, the Ball Boys here tonight, and the whole Tallahassee community for maybe the last time. Andrew Drew, Trenton Young, Ben Grubbs bringing you the action here today. Have a great rest of the way. Stay tuned, of course. Make sure you're checking out Tallahassee on social media for all the updates going forward. Couple more games in the horizon. You have a great rest of your night. Long pauses, long thoughts, long journey down to Miami this Saturday.